sound check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Hiみんな、えむりだよん。Welcome to the stream, こえむり. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Saturday, happy weekend. How is everyone? Hello on YouTube, hello on Twitch. Hello. Welcome back for some more Warhammer reacts. Oh my gosh, you know what happened today? Well, first of all, thank you so much for all the views on my Warhammer stream so far on the VODs. Been getting a lot of views and comments. Thank you so much. So for the longest time, my most viewed stream on my channel was the infamous feet stream. But I believe this morning one of my Warhammer VODs, Warhammer reaction VODs, has surpassed the feet stream. Let's go! Finally, I don't have to be known as, you know, the VTuber whose most popular VOD is a feet stream. Finally. Yeah, let's go 40k. Let's go Warhammer 40k. Kuzo. Oh my gosh, Archer, what are you linking? What are you linking, Archer? Don't tell me that is the feet stream. Do not link it. Stop. Yeah, for the Emperor, let's go. The evil has been defeated. I have been waiting so long for this. You guys have no idea. I have been trying to surpass the feet stream so people could stop going like, oh, Emily, your most viewed video is a foot stream. Yeah. Let the Warhammer 40k consume. Give feet and 40k at the same time next. Some Yakama were like, why don't you like build 40k models with your feet? I'm like, what? Excuse me? Yeah. No, stop adding it to your watch next. No, stop it. Don't watch it. No. You guys are crazy. But yes, I am back. I was gonna watch some kit building videos today, but then Bricky dropped a new video. And it's actually so funny because I literally just, you know, I've just been getting into Warhammer 40k, and I started by watching, you know, Bricky's Factions Explain videos, right? Part 1 and Part 2 that were from like 4 years ago, but I watched it like 2 weeks ago. And now he drops a new video. It is Part 1. It is just Part 1, but it is so much longer too. So today we will be watching this because that is hype. And yeah, I was wondering what you guys thought. Like, have you guys seen this already? What did you guys think of the video? Because I know a lot of people were like, yeah, the older videos, like, they're good, but they're like outdated. There's a lot of like stuff not in there. Like, for example, I really wanted to learn more about this, you know, Space Dwarves faction. I think they're also called Leagues of Votann. Is that how it's pronounced? I don't know. /squats. I don't know. And I think that is in this video, so I'm really hyped. It's a lot more detailed than the older one. I mean, it is like double length, I think. Yeah. It's a lot better than his last one, especially as it doesn't include anything related to the actual tabletop. Oh, it's the best one to date. Good job, Bricky. Oh, Luminaria, thank you for the first time chat. Hello. Thank you for coming. But I would actually watch someone make some with their feet just to see if they can. This could be a good challenge, but I also don't want to just give it to you guys. Like I know what you guys are plotting. Koemuni, hello, welcome. I watch it. It's really an improvement to his last ones. Let's go. Yeah, he like surpassed 500k views in a day. Yeah. I'm really happy for him. Yeah. Also, I just want to say, actually, I'll mention this later. Thank you guys. Thanks for coming. Nice to see all of you today. Thanks for watching my Warhammer reacts. Yeah, I'm excited. And yeah, I think he's probably following the same formula. Maybe like part 1 is like kind of like the human like races, and then like, is that what it is? Like the human like factions, and then part 2 is probably gonna be like the Xenos. Was it that term? I'm trying to remember the terms. Yeah. I watched it with Miwa Bell right after it dropped. Yeah, Miwa reacted to it immediately. And actually, I was gonna show something because Bricky noticed her reacting. Oh, the structure is different. Really? Okay. He'll explain everything. Okay, cool. Okay, that's exciting. It's a complete different structure as the last one. Ooh, he did something new. Okay. Nice. He starts with a timeline as he introduces the factions. Oh, okay. It's chronological. Ooh, that's cool. So there doesn't have to be like a separate timeline video, maybe? Yeah. Yeah, Bricky noticed Miwa. If you guys don't know, Miwa is in the same company as me. Same VTuber company. We're part of Glitch Stars. And I think Sunny also got a mention too. Yeah, which is really cool. I was gonna pull it up. It was on his other channel where he like streams. Basically, Miwa like reacted immediately to the new video. But then I think she got worried that she reacted too soon. Like, I don't know. We heard somewhere that he had like a 3-day policy on reacting to videos. I don't know where, but so she took it down. She like privated it, right, for the time being. And then Bricky was like, "No, you don't need to do that. I don't have like a policy." So I was like, "Oh my gosh." We were like, "He's so nice." Yeah. Thank you, Bricky. Thank you for letting us react to your videos. But yeah, I was just gonna show the clip where he talks about it.
Like they're being careful, and I appreciate that. Like that's a very kind thing to do. I do not have a policy.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as a 3-day policy. This does not exist. If there is a phrase that I said that maybe was misconstrued as that might be the case. Maybe I made like a
Miwa getting put on full blast.
But I never said this ever. And so like. How do I pronounce your name? Miwa Bell. You're totally fine. You seemed very, very nice. I know you're in the same company as Sunny, and me and Sunny are friends, and she's very nice. That? You can put the video back up. There's absolutely no problems whatsoever. I don't know where.
What was that alert in the top left for a second there?
Where this came from. You're totally chill. Do not worry one bit.
Yeah, Bricky's so
Thumbs
nice.
Up. Bricky approved.
Bricky approved.
Who the hell said that?
So yeah, we got Bricky approval, guys. We got official Bricky approval. But yeah, this was from his Bricky episode 2 channel. I think he's streaming on there right now, actually. Yeah, thank you, Bricky. Big Joe Flo, thank you so much for the membership. Thank you. Arigato. Welcome to Member Dayon. Thanks so much. Thank you for the support. Yeah, we got the Bricky perms. Let's go. Revan, thank you so much. Welcome to Member Dayon. Welcome. Thank you. Is it pronounced Revan or Revan? I think it's Revan. But let me know if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Thank you. Thanks for the support. Yeah, welcome back to Member. Yeah. But yeah, it's nice of him to let us react to the videos. Yeah, and it's nice to get, I guess, clarification as well. So yeah, Miwa's safe, guys. Miwa is safe. Yeah, poor Miwa. We love her. It's so on brand. Yeah, Miwa. Well, at least it worked out, right? Yep. I just played Space Marine 2, so this is the perfect time. Let's go. I need to play Space Marines too. Oh, it's pronounced Darth Darth Revan? Darth Revan? Darth Revan? Huh? I don't know the reference. I'm so sorry if there is one. S1, thank you for the 10 gifted memberships. Thank you. Arigato. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. 47 out of 50. What? Three more memberships until I gotta build a kit. Thank you so much. Also, Fel, thanks for coming to the stream. Thank you, S1. Everyone enjoy your gift memberships. Thank you. Oh, it's a Star Wars reference? Okay, that would make sense. See, I know Darth Vader. I don't know anything else. I'm so sorry. He works with Matara. He has to be nice. You know, it's so funny. I actually originally knew Bricky from Matara. Like, I didn't even know what kind of content he made. I just knew that he like collab with Matara a lot, and she would like mention him and stuff. So, yeah. It wasn't until later that I was like, oh, he does Warhammer content. Oh, you know? It's like Naruhodo. Oh, thanks for the image, Archer. I see it in Discord. She also met him through Warhammer Reacts. Oh, really? That's so funny. Bricky's getting to all the VTubers. Yeah. S1, thank you for another 5 gifted memberships. Thank you. We hit the goal. We hit the goal. Thank you so much. Wait, did I do the math right? Yeah. Wait, did I? Yeah. I think we're at 52. Okay. Thank you so much. VTuber attempts to do math live on stream. Yeah, her content husband. Yeah, that's what she calls him. Yeah, I saw that he collabs a lot with VTubers. Yeah. I'm manifesting a Bricky and Sunny collab. What kind of model do you want to build? Oh yeah, I guess I gotta think about it now because we hit the goal. Thank you again. We'll see. I'm kind of leaning towards. I'm leaning towards the space dwarves. I know that's not what they're actually called, but I'm leaning towards them just because I kind of like them. But I want to learn about their lore this video. Yeah. But yeah, that might be what I'm leaning towards, just because I like the little men aesthetic a lot. Bricky Glitch Star collab would be fun. Oh my god, that would be crazy. Manifesting. Orcs? You know, orcs seem cool too. And also, the salamanders. That's kind of what I was also leaning towards. And there was one more. I can't remember. The gold guys. The super gold guys. Yeah, rock and stone. Yeah, dwarves are in this video. I'm so excited. Oh, yeah, the custodies. Thank you, guys. Yeah, that was the other one because I like the gold. that was the reason. I'm like, ooh, I like how shiny they look. Yeah, ikuzo. Thank you guys again. All right, let's watch. Also, another thing I was going to mention. When did Bricky start wearing glasses? Because I actually think he looks great with glasses on. Because I noticed in the in the previous video he wasn't wearing glasses, like the ones that I watched from like years ago, and now he's wearing glasses. Yeah. Oh, he always did. He just wears them more now. Oh, okay. Orc or Votann might be easier since custodies are rather details for beginners. Oh, gotcha. I don't know. I'm hearing mixed reviews about these because some people say orcs are hard. Some people say they're easy. You know, I forgot who said. I was watching a video that said custodies are like easy-ish or good beginner. Yeah, good beginner stuff. I think it was Bricky actually. Yeah, I think. And I was like, oh, okay. Oh. Orcs are hard to look bad, yeah. Video is a massive improvement over the previous one. In spite of the factual falsehoods it still contains. He cooked, and now we shall see what he cooked. Yeah. Alright, let's watch every single Warhammer 40k faction re-explain. Let's go! 2-hour video, I believe. He cooked so hard with this one. Insane. It's insane. I can't wait. Honestly, maybe it's a good thing I just finished watching. Like, I just recently watched his, like, you know, past videos. So, you know, I still sort of remember what I saw since it was pretty recent. So I could, like, kind of compare maybe. But I only recently got into Warhammer. So it's not like I know, like, all the lore off the top of my head. I don't know, like, anything. That's why I need to learn. But, you know, I really like kind of, like, diving into nerd hobbies. So, all right, let's watch. Also, the thumbnail is great.
Far past, there was no war.
Wait, I think you need to start from the very beginning. All right, there you go.
In the kind brightness of the far past, there was no war. Our galaxy was, for a long time, fairly empty and quiet. The first known species to appear during this time are known only as the Old Ones, cosmic entities that traveled across the galaxy with ease and seeded
I think
life
he looks good
through
with
the
glasses.
stars. Shortly thereafter, a new species began to arise.
Not biased.
The Necron tier. Evolving under the harshness of a devastatingly
Necron
powerful
tier.
star, the short-lived and irradiated Necron tier try to find the secret to eternal life and to be freed from their terrible existence. As they expand through the stars, they find the Old Ones, and
Yeah,
they
the old
plead
ones.
to them to share the secrets of the universe and grant them purchase from their short and painful existence. The Old Ones respond with a lol and a lamau, and with their immense power, they force them back to their homeworld. The Necron tier, filled with rage and hatred, make it their duty to get revenge on the Old Ones.
Yeah, this is interesting because I believe in the original video, he actually got into Necron tier like near the end of the video, I think, the Necrons. Like, I believe. So now, but like, I remember I was watching a timeline video and I was like, oh, they come actually early on. So like, now he's starting with them. So it's more chronological. Yeah. He's starting with the lore. The intro he's doing right now is about 15 minutes long. Let's go! Don't worry, I'm a visual novel player. I am like very used to, long prologues. 50 minutes, that is nothing. Let him cook.
Revenge that would come swiftly as a chance encounter with other gods gave them a solution. These other gods were known as the Votann, a race of highly powerful star-consuming entities. Do not fear, young mortals, for we, the Votann, will provide you with the immortality you seek. Come now, won't you shake a poor sinner's hand? Quoted from Mephitron, the Deceiver. The
Oh my
Necron
gosh.
tier
That thing looks freaky. Yeah, the Deceiver. You know, why would they trust a dude named the Deceiver? I don't know. Maybe they didn't know his name. The Old Ones, otherwise known as Cosmic Toad People. Oh, they are? Cosmic Toad People. I don't know why when I think Toad, I think of Toad from the Mario series. Wah! He wasn't called a deceiver until after. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. So he got his name after deceiving them.
Accepted the Votan's offer of immortality, but believe it or not, this turned out to be a ruse. A trick. The Votann crafted gigantic furnaces and began the process of biotransference. The Necron tier willingly walked line by line into the furnace engines made by gods who devour stars and had their souls consumed instead. The short-lived, irradiated, and cancer-inflicted race of the Necron tier ceased to be, and the immortal, soulless Necrons remained. Now backed by the immense power of the C'tan, the Necrons rally against the Old Ones, and the bitter conflict in the stars at this time is known as the War in Heaven. Despite creating various races and entities to aid them in this battle, the Old Ones are overwhelmed and eradicated down to the last, due to the sheer power of the C'tan fat off the souls of the Necron tier, and with an army of unthinkable robotic slaves at their behest. However, the C'tan are greedy, spiteful gods, and when there was no foe worth killing, they turn on each other. The Necrons then put their sights towards the C'tan, and
that's crazy. War never changes. They constantly need something to fight.
lay waste to them, securing their freedom. The once subservient Necrons now control their former masters. Worn out and weakened by these wars, the Necrons under their leader Zarek, the Silent King, lie dormant with a plan to eventually wake and reclaim control over the galaxy. Over millions of years, empires rise and they fall. The species created by the Old Ones have footholds over the galaxy, but on a pale blue dot in the thick of all this conflict, humanity begins to evolve. And for the most part, the basic path of humanity's evolution remains the same as it is now. 21st century, this is canon. You, right now, Twitch streamer reacting to this video, you...
He called me out. I'm not just a Twitch streamer. I stream on YouTube too. Oh my god. Just got caught. You Twitch streamer reacting to this video now. Oh my god. He literally knew. He knew. He saw it coming. It's okay. It's okay. We're Bricky approved. Yeah, that's chat back there. I'm scared. Mom, pick me up. I'm scared.
Existed at a point in the Warhammer universe. But with time, humanity's ambition and the power of their technology becomes unmatched, and the golden age of expansion begins. Humanity starts to branch out through the stars with powerful tools used for agriculture, mining, and expansion.
Yeah, let's go
Some
humans.
branches of humanity would eventually settle far away from Earth itself. And around this time, the psychic ability of humans are greatly expanded, and what we begin to know as psychers appear. But despite all the progress, things would begin to collapse. The machines created to aid humanity would turn on them in M23, an event known as the Cybernetic Revolt, and trade would begin to collapse due to the immaterial warp, aka actual hell, beginning to cause ruptures in space and time. These warp stones would separate humanity, and this would be what is known as the Age of Strife. The warp, a sea of souls, storing all thought, emotion, and the souls of those who have passed on, begin fluctuating into something terrible, as far on the horizon, something horrendous was brewing. You see, the warp isn't just a random assortment of chaotic energy. It is fairly well organized, thanks to those living in the galaxy.
Is this getting
the warp
into chaos?
itself acts as an afterlife of sorts, and the actions of the innumerable amount of creatures who live in the galaxy have manifested a pantheon of organized entities known as the Forces of Chaos.
Yeah, chaos!
Their helm are three major entities.
I'm so sorry. I'm just like, I guess I'm excited because I'm like, yeah, I remember this. I remember this from the previous videos. You know, I feel like I'm like a kid learning in school, and the teacher, the professor's like, now who here remembers when I talked about, and I'm like, yeah, me. This is just the intro. Yeah, let's go. He's explaining the lore in the intro. Yeah. The Cleveland Taurus video when talking about the warp is my favorite joke in this video. Oh, that was Cleveland? I was actually wondering what city that was, but I didn't question it. That was Cleveland. Oh, I think it's set on the screen. I just totally missed it or something. Oh, yeah, I know this stuff now. Yippee. Also, I was wondering, is the logo on his shirt like, is that like a reference? Like, am I supposed to know what that is, or it's just a shirt? I was just wondering. Oh, welcome to sunny Cleveland. Why was it a Cleveland reference? Like, what happens in Cleveland? I know there's like a lot of like, Cleveland's in Ohio, right? There's like a lot of jokes surrounding Ohio and how like they have like aliens or something. I don't know. Cleveland is hell. It is. Oh, that's his merch company. Oh, it's an orchid, the name of his shop and part of his old username. Gotcha. What happens in Cleveland stays in Cleveland. I did not know this about Cleveland. Cleveland's tourist motto is, at least we're not Detroit. Cleveland is a place, hell itself. All right, note to self, do not visit Cleveland. All right, back to the video.
Khorne, Nurgle, and Tzeentch. However, a fourth one, Slaanesh, was about to be born. The ancient Eldar were one of the first species created by the
Jesters?
Old Ones, and due to their extreme and unbridled excess, the birthing of Slaanesh tore a hole in the galaxy and forever split the Eldar into those of the craft world, who sought to bring their species back together, and those of the Drukhari, who wished to continue what caused the birth of Slaanesh in the first place. The birthing of this fourth chaos god settled the warp storms of the Immaterium and ended the age of strife, but humanity was still fractured. So one man revealed himself and spearheaded an immense attempt to reunite all the fractured pieces of humanity.
Big dude.
That man was the Emperor of Mankind. After reclaiming the nearly destroyed Earth, the Emperor embarked on the unification wars to unite humanity under the banner of the Imperium of Man. However, due to the very long and devastating impact of the Age of Strife, humanity as we know it is not the same. To reconquer Earth, the Emperor would need more than mere men. Great beings, known as the Thunder Warriors, were recruited by the Emperor to reclaim the Earth with ease. But these warriors are a blunt tool and had, overstayed their welcome. He would need something better, and that solution would be known as the Space Marines.
Yeah, the Space Marines! Love those guys. Oh, Malice? What is Malice? Malice isn't real? Wait, what is Malice? He's a minor demon fooling a single chapter of Marines. Oh, is that Malice? Malal isn't real, but Malice is. Fifth Chaos God. Oh. I see. Wait, how many? Oh, so far there's like 4 Chaos Gods that were mentioned last time? Okay, I see. Very much uncanon. Gotcha. Represents infighting. Oh, allegedly 5th Chaos God. Okay. Oh. Oh, in the old lore was a 5th Chaos God, but that's not canon anymore. Man, the lore just continuously changes, huh?
Superhuman soldiers that will have the skill and cunning exponentially greater than the mortal man. These new warriors would be commanded by an elite group of his very own sons known as the Primarchs. Unfortunately though, Daddy didn't charge the baby monitor, and his 18 sons would be stolen by the forces of chaos and scattered across the galaxy. This would begin the Great Crusade, a monumental task to take back the stars in the name of humanity and reclaim the lost Primarch sons. However, he would need the fires of industry to make this happen. Looking to the distant cousins of Mars, the Emperor signed a treaty with the technologically irradiated hellscape of the Red Planet and allowed the cult of the machine god, the Mechanicum, to supply his crusade. While Space Marines were the—
I wonder where that footage he just showed was from. Is it from a game maybe? Also, how many sons did he have again? He had quite a few, right? At least like 8, maybe 10? Yeah, I don't remember. 20? He had 20? Oh my gosh. 19, 18. Oh, 18. Okay. Yeah, that is a lot.
god,
Hard to
the
keep track of.
Mechanicum, to supply his crusade.
Mechanicum.
While Space Marines were the tip of the spear, their numbers pale to the vast might of the Imperial Army and Navy. The Astra Militarum and their seemingly endless numbers make up the bulk of the fighting force for humanity, supplied by the intelligence and prowess of various agents of the Imperium, such as rogue traders and assassins. Due to the lack of connectivity between the worlds, what a society had become over thousands of years became mysterious and varied. Tools once used for harvesting and agriculture now are being used as machines of war in the form
mechs.
of Imperial Knights. Some of these fractures of
Imperial
humanity
Knights.
would even be changed further and become unrecognizable to the average human, with differences in size, skin color, appendages, cat ears.
What? Cat ears? Hold up a second. Bricky, do you like that? I think Bricky should make a video one of these days where he's just like wearing cat ears and he doesn't even like explain it. 18 and anything else is heresy? Wrong. Anything other than 9 is heresy. I see that it depends on who you ask. 40k as cat folks? What? Emuri, are you an Imperial Knight? I like how the Imperial Knights look. Actually, that's another kit I would be totally down to like build or paint because they look really nice. Pretty cool, big guys. We know of 18, the other 2 we don't know. 18 but 2 have been rededicated from history per the Inquisition. Oh, Naruhodo. There is a race of cat people called felinids, if I recall correctly. They're basically animal people. Was this touched upon in any videos I saw? Like, I don't remember. Are they relatively new, maybe? Interesting. Okay. Cool. I had no idea.
In size, skin color, appendages, cat ears sometimes. Some would go so far to become their own galactic societies, like the miners of the Galactic Core and their immense supercomputers, forming the Leagues of Votann. After an incredible amount of effort
old
and
lore.
books, the lost sons of the Emperor would be reunited, and the Imperium of Man would be firmly established. This, however, would not last. Be it intentional or accidental, the Emperor would not reveal to his sons the true nature of the galaxy and the terrors of the warp. And this oversight would result in one of the most impactful wars in humanity's history.
I remember.
Favorite son of the Emperor, Horus, would
Horus!
fall to the powers of chaos and turn on his father. This
Betrayal.
this backstabbing, this heresy, this Horus heresy would result in a split in the Imperium with devastating consequences. Half of the Emperor's loyal sons would fall to chaos and become the Chaos Space Marines.
All hail Horus the Savior. Are you a heretic? Horusy? I don't know. That word doesn't look right. I don't know why. I don't know. Just
Along with the forces of the Dark Mechanicum and the Chaos Knights. The conflict would result in the absolute obliteration of Horus and the physical death of the Emperor himself. The near-dead body of the Emperor would be placed on the Golden Throne to serve as a beacon of humanity and allow for the continued ability to travel the stars, protected by his most loyal, the Adeptus Custodes. The Imperium would be vulnerable during this age of rebirth, and Terra would find itself under siege by one of the most formidable species in the galaxy, the Orcs. As time went on and memories of the Emperor's vision began to fade, the Emperor would become less of a head of state and more of a religious figure, and the Imperium would change to reflect this. The leadership on a planet would be at the behest of the High Lords of Terra, and their actions would be courtesy of the incomparable power and authority of the Inquisition. The zealots of the Imperium would intensify and create a brand new era known as the Age of Apostasy. And this ecclesiarchal command of the Imperium would end up with one of the strongest fighting forces of Terra, the Adeptus Sororitas. Over time, this age would come to pass, and we would approach the 40th millennium of Warhammer 40,000.
Oh, yeah, wowie!
Which, you guessed it, would come with its own form of problems. A primitive species once found during a recon mission would be able to evolve in relative secrecy for 6,000 years, becoming a highly advanced coalition of aliens known as the Tau Empire. And if the threats of the
And then here's the mechs. The Tau. Sororitas are the best. They're so cool. Yeah. Nobody expects the Empiric Inquisition. Oh. Heresy everywhere. Oh. I also heard that the apparently does the Emperor, okay, after he becomes what he is, like does he have I heard he uses like a TTS device, and I know there's like a video on that. I believe some of the Glitch Stars girls watched that, so that's what I remember from, but I haven't seen it yet.
Galaxy weren't bad enough, there are threats from outside the galaxy. As a monster has begun to wrap its tendrils around the Milky Way, the Tyranids, monsters that serve a psychic hive mind and present tactics previously unseen in the Milky Way. Be it a direct assault.
Oh, it's fan fiction. Oh, it's a fan-made series. Oh, okay. It's a what if series, but it is so good. Oh, okay, this makes sense. Oh, it's a parody series. Gotcha. Okay. Thanks for explaining. The Inquisition is watching. Oh my god. Oh, no, I'm not a heretic. I swear. I didn't know it was a fan-made series.
And present tactics previously unseen in the Milky Way. Be it a direct assault with their monstrous bug-like presence, or through the more covert gene stealer cults, the presence of yet another threat in the galaxy is proving to be overwhelming to the Imperium. In the 41st millennium, there is no peace among the stars.
Orcs! Oh, hey, your favorite faction would be the Tyranids? What? No! I never said I liked the Tyranids. They're kind of scary. It's so good. It's really worth a watch regardless of canon. Gotcha. Okay. It is definitely on my list then. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the subs. There's a Warhammer 40k that takes place in space and fantasy Warhammer. Oh. Wait, does this 40k Warhammer universe not take... Oh, you're saying... Oh, a combination of space and fantasy Warhammer. Okay, gotcha. I was confused for a sec. I read that sentence wrong. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know anything about Warhammer Fantasy yet.
At any point, your life can and will be threatened by the Xenos races uncountable, or by the arch enemy of chaos within, or by the decroded terror that is the Imperium itself. It is to live in the cruelest and most bloody regime imaginable. Forget the power of technology and science, or the safety of promise and understanding. For in the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war.
There is always only war in this universe. Oh, this is hype. Again, part 1. Let's go! Guys, absolute cinema right here. You guys were really right. It was like, it was like a 12-minute intro. Yeah. He did it. He said the line. Oh my gosh, no way. Emuri, if you like 40k dwarves, I think you will love Warhammer Fantasy dwarves. Oh yeah, I heard that fantasy has dwarves as well. I love the dwarves. I like the little men. But I don't know any lore about them yet, so I'm going to find out in this video. Let's go! Is he okay?
A fantastic job once again, Mr. Kurz, the Night Haunter himself.
Oh, didn't you love that, my faithful audience? Once again, we have another criminal over the course of 6 hours break every single bone in his body. And with that, once again, our glorious leader has brought the crime rate to 0%.
Whoa.
Always brought to you here on Nostroman News. I'm your host, Bricky. Thank you once again for joining us.
This is such a funny segment.
Our top stories for tonight. The weather forecast appears to be rainy with extra dark, so make sure you pack those extra batteries for your lamp packs. And of course, let's not forget the fantastic gang violence problem we're currently having. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
What's that? Oh, right. It's gone. It's looking to be a chilly one tonight as well, so make sure your skin capes are nice and tight.
Skin capes.
Wait, hold on, one moment. No. Adamantium reserves have tripled?
Oh no!
Wait, I'm sorry. Self-harm rates have gone down to 0%.
Oh, isn't that good?
The Night Hunter smiled? No. This could only mean one thing.
What could it mean?
It is the Strawman News' great privilege to bring some color back in your life with the brand new 3-part Gamer Subs drop exclusively on this here news network. That's right, your esteemed host Bricky, myself, is dropping a 3-part Gamer Subs release for pre-order available
Get
now
those Gamer
and
Subs.
only for a couple of weeks. Not only does it include a completely brand new artwork reskin of the sweet six-pack flavor, one of the highest selling flavors in the entirety of Gamer Subs, but it also comes with the first ever all-over print Gamer Subs
More Dommy
32-ounce jug. And if that isn't enough for you, if the phenomenal drink and drink holder is not enough for you, we have a desk mat to go along with it. That's right, the Herculean look of the brand new sweet six-pack style is here.
Woman?
We're still looking at muscles beyond belief, but this time we're talking taste. We're talking Atlas.
Muscle
We're talking
mommies.
Smooth. And if that wasn't enough, I, your co-host specifically, you pre-order all 3 of these items, will personally hand sign a note for you, thanking you for supporting this network.
Whoa!
All of this you can receive
hand
for
sign?
10% off if you go down in the description of this video and click the link, or go to gamersubs.com/Bricky and use code Bricky. Save 10% off with code Bricky. Bring some color back into your life and increase production across the board for our glorious leader, the Night Hunter. Thank you, Gamer Subs, for sponsoring the Strawman News, and let us move on to our next scheduled program.
I love it when people get creative with their sponsorship ads. But you know what was really funny? Before he started the ad segment, I was like looking at his shirt, right? And I was like, you know, that looks like a brand shirt. Like, it kind of looks like Gucci-esque. If you know what I'm saying, right? Like with the logo pattern. So I was like looking and I'm like, what is that shirt? And like, just as I realized, wait, isn't that the Gamer Subs logo? Like he went into his ad segment. That's a nice looking shirt. Not gonna lie. It's a pretty nice looking shirt. nice drip, Bricky. Yeah. All right, back to the show.
The Strawman News, and let us move on to our next scheduled program. 5 years ago, I made every Warhammer 40k faction explained. A passion project of mine for a universe that I enjoyed so much. Its main purpose was to be a drawbridge, the separation between the layman who had only ever seen the big armored blue man situated neatly next to a Wetzel's Pretzels, and then the hardcore
No
Warhammer
glasses,
lore
Bricky.
nerd. That was just too wide, and there was nothing bridging these two
Baby
together.
Bricky.
Since 2020, Warhammer has exploded in popularity thanks to COVID, quality game updates, and a few excellent video games, and a couple mini-series. The sheer volume of people who have told me they have purchased miniatures due to that video alone makes me feel as if Games Workshop owes me commission. However,
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like Bricky's videos probably had to have, you know, largely contributed to it as well, right? The Warhammer like popularity. Yeah.
That video is incomplete. I was not a casual fan, but I was also not a hardcore lore junkie. In the 5 years since that video's release, multiple channels have sprouted up, and the drawbridge between casual to the obsessed has never been wider or easier to traverse. Even I, myself, have been a part of Adeptus Ridiculous, a podcast teaching lore in a much simpler and condensed form. Needless to say,
watch this.
I've learned a lot. Warhammer is so much more than just Spaceman shoots big gun. It has also grown substantially from its origins, being a Warhammer fantasy spin-off just in space. Now, it is a black library filled with immensely deep characters, difficult themes, and even some tear-jerking stories. It is a backdrop for a million stories over a million worlds, and I did not see its true depth in 2020. But now, I'd like to share what I've learned. We just had a brief summary of the world and each faction that takes place during it. And we did that because to truly understand each faction, we must understand what makes them the way they are. And
was that still Cleveland? Was that Cleveland footage again? He's even friends with VTubers because of it. Yeah, it's so funny. It's so cool. Hell as known as Cleveland. Okay. Cleveland is the closest thing to Warhammer 40k. Got it.
Understand each faction, we must understand what makes them the way they are. And to do so, we need to begin in chronological order, discussing their origins, their culture, their powers, and of course, what makes them oh so grimdark. So let's begin with the group that started it all and sing praise to the infinite empire.
Whoa! Necrons!
As mentioned before, the Necron tier were the original form of the Necrons.
Their lore's
an
cool.
alien race far away from us that lived short, painful lives due to the irradiation of their star. Normally, this would manifest as like a sort of cancer, a space cancer of sorts. The Necrons are very much inspired by the ancient Egyptian aesthetic, but unlike the windswept dunes commonly associated with it, the irradiated hellscape the Necron tier endured was far from picturesque. This also translates into their hierarchy. They are a race of nobles and peasants. Most of the peasants would often live for their very short amount of time, only a couple of decades, while the
only a couple of decades. Yeah, I was gonna say like how short is short in the Warhammer universe? And yeah, that's pretty short for the Warhammer universe because a lot of them like they live like thousands of years, right?
For their very short amount of time, only a couple of decades, while the nobles tended to have better care and would live a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But still far less than the average lifespan of a human, even today in the 21st century. The leader of the Necrons was Zarek, the Silent King. He was the one who took the deal with the Catan and the Deceiver. Of course, he wasn't aware of the fact that they were known as the Deceiver at the time. But the whole species was blinded by hate after being debased by the Old Ones on their quest to cure their illness. The sheer pain
I think this calls for revenge, guys. Sweet, sweet revenge. I always love a good revenge story.
Based by the Old Ones on their quest to cure their illness. The sheer pain that underwent the Necron race can't be understated as their fear was manic. The Catan are, of course, gods that eat stars, and when the leader of your species tells you to march into the gigantic green furnaces to ascend to immortality, you march. The scenes from these are long lines of both the peasantry and nobles clutching their loved ones in a frantic act to save their own lives. Many of them already inflicted in the late stages of the space cancer, some of them crawling into the biotransference furnaces, trying to outrace death itself, without realizing death was the one who made these to begin with. What came out the other side was a soulless husk. And I say that literally. A soul is not an abstract concept like it is in our world, an immaterial version of oneself discussed and debated in religion and philosophy. No, in Warhammer, a soul is a real, tangible item of oneself. And the Catan basically were just like to every...
the Minecraft noises. I'm sorry, that was really funny. Yeah, they became skelly boys, devoid of souls. Necrons are crybabies. Tau lived for 30 years and they're fine. Oh, I didn't know Tau only lived for 30 years. It's delicious. Yeah, I mean, Slanesh likes consuming souls, right? Or am I getting it wrong? I don't remember. I thought Slanesh does. Or did it just go to the warp? I'm trying to remember. Oh, Tau are brainwashed. Oh, yeah, I forgot that important detail. You got it right? Okay. All Chaos Gods love souls.
And the C'tan basically were just like to every single person who went in their furnaces. If you were a peasant, you came out a Necron warrior, and you as an individual have ceased to be. You have no mind, you have no soul, and
Fine,
your body, as you know it, is made of an extremely advanced mass of re-knitting living metal known as necrodermis. You cannot think for yourself, for you do not have a brain to think with. All you do now is await protocols from your overlords, which are the nobles who came out of the furnaces with their minds intact, not their souls, mind you, because their minds are very much intact. These nobles now have command protocols, and they are able to command all of their peasantry and do with them whatever they wish. Zarek, the Silent King, is the most advanced of all the Necrons, a perfect metallic version of himself with incredible power and intelligence. His strength allowed him to lead the undead and the unthinking armies of the Necrons to battle against the C'tan when they were at their weakest due to their incessant infighting, and then win back their freedom. But gods cannot die. So in reality, what occurred is the C'tan were shattered into thousands of pieces, and each shard of their god was trapped in a stasis vault and mind controlled to do the bidding of the Necrons they once enslaved.
That's so cool. They got put into Pokeballs, basically, right? To be fair, Tau lived 30 years of a fairly enjoyable and happy life. Necron literally got cancer at birth. I guess that sucks. Aside from the brainwashing, yeah. I mean, ignorance is bliss, right? I think ignorance is bliss. Yeah, in many such cases. Most things in 40k will eat souls if offered the option, kind of like garlic bread. I mean, if I was offered garlic bread, or if I saw garlic bread, I would definitely not turn it down. I would eat it. That's a good analogy. Yeah, I'd love some garlic bread right now. Gods cannot die looks at elder gods. Which gods were it? Was it? Tau literally have the anime lifespan where you're considered old when you're in late 20s. This is why they know as anime faction. It's so accurate to anime. That's so real. There is many, he will get to them. Gotcha. All right.
Biggest challenge they face now are actually the upstarts of the galaxy.
Ooh, the kids.
The Eldar and the
so
Orcs
nice.
were quite prominent, and as you can imagine, a galactic war really takes its toll on the joints, or I guess the servos. It was in their best interest to wait out the galactic rise of the other races and come back at a more opportune time. So they went into stasis via these massive tomb complexes hidden beneath various worlds, biding their time until it was once again their opportunity to rule the galaxy. Zarek, the Silent King, as penance for his failure to his people, exiled himself into the darkness between stars for the next 60 million years with his perfect memory, a constant reminder of the doom he inflicted upon his people. Flash forward to the modern day, and the Necrons are reawakening. But
how sorry for pausing. How long were they in stasis for? Like how many years? Because I forgot. The cancer for the Necron tier was so bad it was coded into the DNA. If one was born light years away from the planet, they would still develop the cancer. Oh, that really sucks. Wow. Like 60 million? Dude, at some point, these are just like big numbers. Like, I don't even know. I can't even like comprehend how long that is. They're asleep for 60 million. Wowie.
People. Flash forward to the modern day and the Necrons are reawakening, but it isn't working as well as it could be. Whether the tomb world is reawakened naturally or by some imperial moron stepping on a green glowing rock, the Necrons have come back to reclaim a galaxy they consider rightly theirs.
Yeah.
But 60 million years of hypersleep have taken their toll. Many Necron dynasties awake with systems unrestored and huge swaths of their population's minds completely lost. Necron nobles wake with various mental faculties compromised, sometimes exhibiting traits similar to excessive paranoia, schizophrenia, or even dementia.
I didn't
One
know.
notable Necron, Nemesor Zandrek, believes that he is still back on his home planet fighting off separatists and interlopers. See, Oberyn, the separatists come, attempting to outflank me as they did at the 4th Battle of Vindach. How they calculate that daubing themselves green and roaring like savages will produce a different outcome, I cannot fathom. But it is of no account. Ready, my legions. Another glorious victory shall soon be ours.
I like
Other
how you read that.
individuals, such as the esteemed Imatek the Stormlord, seek to usurp the newly returned Silent King for rightful ruler over the Necron race, believing his time has come to an end, while scientists and archaeologists like Trazen the Infinite and Orikin the Diviner spend thousands of years bickering over artifacts and petty squabbles. Truly, the Necrons are a faction of unthinkable, unimaginable power, held back entirely by their own hubris and 60 million years of stasis.
Yeah.
It is a species that does not know of time, only of the ravages brought by it. A pharaoh of a dynasty may just be as frightened to awake completely mad as they are to be assassinated while they sleep. Thousands of years pass in an instant. There is a play, like an opera play,
Not the Harry Potter puppets. That takes me back. But yeah, sleeping for 60 million years will do that. Yeah, I mean, didn't they like wake up to like just like, you know, factions like fighting on their like front? And they woke up and they're like, what the? What is this? Get off our land. Oh, yeah, it's a pipe bomb. I remember that.
a retelling of the war in heaven in the Necron culture that takes 40 years to witness, because why leave? You have no need to eat or vacate your bowels. You are immortal, but you are soulless. Despite the Necrons' incredible technology, their mastery over time, reality itself, despite all of this, they still are missing a soul. And therein lies the biggest struggle. Most Necrons look to conquest the galaxy, kill the interlopers like the humans, Eldar, and orcs that scrape at a fraction of their power. But the end goal for many, including Zarek himself, is to return the souls to their bodies, to undo the horrible fate he cast upon them. This is not the interest of all. Many simply wish to rule their dynasty with an iron fist and kill all they consider unworthy. But to many others, it is to undo the decision that doomed them all. Before they can do that,
So not everyone wants their soul back? Is that how it is? I feel like getting their souls back will be very difficult.
others is to undo the decision that doomed them all. Before they can do that, there is a pest that needs exterminating.
Oh.
That is the fundamental
The
understanding
Tyranids?
of the Necrons.
Tyranids?
They are so hyper advanced that their science borders on magic. They play with the fundamental aspects of reality and time. Their mastery of the physical galaxy is the strongest in the universe. Their weapons reduce people to the barest molecules, and they have devices capable of causing stars to supernova. They are unfathomably difficult to kill, as if you do fell one of their number, the living metal reknits itself and the reanimation resurrection protocols allow it to come back alive
they're immortal.
once again. They're masters of teleportation, and often killing a Necron fully will just have its consciousness translocated back to their tomb world to await reassembly. Normally, they utilize large phalanxes of warriors and honorary combats, but some of them have fallen to various mind viruses. The destroyer cults are hell-bent on killing anything and everyone that lives with an overwhelming force. And then there's the flayed ones. Necrons cursed with I have no mouth and I must scream, a panic attack virus, as the last laugh of Landogo, the Flayer Catan. Slowly losing their minds, they strip apart their foes and adorn their bodies with the skin of their enemies, trying to better return to their old feelings of flesh and blood. The Necrons,
like they like, yeah, they're like essentially like they're never satisfied. Some say getting the bodies back would just be returning to mortal bodies and illness. Yeah, it's like immortal, but at what cost, you know? Yeah, they crazy and tragic. Yeah, immortality, but they all have incurable depression. Not having a soul will do that to you, I guess. And also, you know, whatever virus they got. Yeah, they feel cold and hunger, but they can't feed and have no skin. Crazy.
Trying to better return to their old feelings of flesh and blood. The Necrons are a degraded version of their mighty empire and still one of the biggest threats in the galaxy. The only thing keeping them at bay currently is their awakening sickness and their infighting with no care to the timeline. But they are coming. And slowly, they plan to rid this galaxy of the vermin that inhabit it. My people shackled the stars and broke mortality when the species you sprang from had barely left the slime pools it spawned in. Our wars burned reality, and the dominion of our kings is without limit. The ground you tread on is not yours. It is ours. The war in heaven was a catastrophic time for the galaxy, and as stated in the above quote, burned reality. Of course, souls exist in Warhammer, and in the case of the Necron tier, they were consumed by the star gods. This begs the question, however, if you were to pass on, expire, as one might put it, where would your soul go? The answer to this is the warp. In Warhammer, a soul is real. And so is hell, the afterlife, the Empyrean, the Sea of Souls, the Immaterium. All of these names refer to the dimension parallel to our own known as the warp. Now, the warp is not like our reality. It does not follow the classic normalcy of time and space. It is defined as the Sea of Souls, and it acts like this in a more literal way than you can realize. To imagine the
time for the goat faction, ayo? What is he getting into? But yeah, the warp, I don't know, it's interesting the souls go in there and then like the gods like consume them or something as well. Yeah, chaos! True, the chaos factions.
Sea of Souls, and it acts like this in a more literal way than you can realize. To imagine the warp is to imagine the sea itself. Hell is real, and you can surf on it. It has a current and can become more dangerous depending on where you go and how bad the weather is. As the Immaterium is a reflection of our reality and of our souls, all thoughts, all emotions, all feeling that goes with a soul is passed on into the warp. If an entire planet decides it's going to engage in a blood-fueled rampage of murder and gore, then the warp around that planet will be affected in a similar manner. It's not something that you can see. It is a parallel, not perpendicular dimension. But it is changing. To expose oneself to the warp for any period of time invites certain death outside of the most iron-willed of individuals, and to stare into it will drive one mad.
Why does the warp remind me of the Grail from Fate? Forgive me for being such a like Fate weeb, but like Fate Stay Night weeb, but why does it remind me of that? Like it's like the souls are starting to like taint the warp. Because of all the like craziness that everyone's engaging in, and eventually it taints the warp. Yeah. It is kind of similar in that way. Yeah, do you guys know Fate Stay Night as well? Yeah. It's all Anger Mainu's fault. Yeah, Angry Mayo. It's like a grill, but a place. Yeah, you can go in it. It's a similar concept. One is just an item, and the other is a whole dimension. True. Anger and mind you can be classed as a chaos god. Yeah. Could be. I see the similarities. This one's just like on a way bigger scale, obviously. But yeah, I guess that's like an easy way for me to remember it. Since, you know, I need to compare it to things so I could learn easier.
Iron-willed of individuals, and to stare into it will drive one mad. Much like the open seas, things dwell in the warp. Whether these beings were always there and were just emboldened by the carnage of the galaxy, we can only speculate. At a time, you could say it was more calm. But a certain faction's galactic war in heaven didn't do it any favors. Now the warp is turbulent, and its realms belong to a pantheon of gods known simply as
Chaos! Let's go, Chaos!
The forces of chaos are beings that serve directly under their patron deity. There are 4 current gods of chaos at the moment: Khorne, Tzeentch, Nurgle, and Slaanesh. Each of them represent various facets of and emotions of sentient
he's getting
species
into the gods
and play
here.
a great game against one another for
Chaos
total
God.
control over their realms. Interestingly enough, while their disciples have physical forms, we can understand the chaos gods do not have a physical visual that you can perceive in reality. So while
Though, didn't they establish at some point that the fake gods are aliens or something? Oh, in FGO, a lot of the gods are aliens. Yeah. Oh, I actually didn't know that. Oh. Yeah, I said Grail, not girl. Yeah, Grail. Oh, it's interesting because I believe in the original videos he made, I think he got into the Chaos Gods in part 2, but he's getting into the Chaos Gods here, which is interesting. Yeah, in part 1. Yeah, different format.
there are tons of fantastic fan art, we do not know what they truly look like.
Going in order, yeah.
No, they are conveniently color-coded. Khorne is the god of blood and murder, carnage and slaughter. He is the one who is most powered by the wholesale killing of any living thing. For Khorne cares not from where the blood flows. With a sacred...
Also, I actually had no idea that they actually don't have physical forms, and it was just like art. That's pretty interesting.
Any living thing. For Khorne cares not from where the
that would
blood
make sense,
flows.
'cause they're
With
gods.
a sacred number of 8, he is the lord of all things involving killing and blood and gore.
Khorne.
The champions are extremely strong as well, with monumental muscles and extremely large weapons. A true analog to Khorne would be his greater demon, the Bloodthirster, an enormous muscle-bound flying devil with an axe so large it splits tanks in a single
just wants
swing.
blood.
They move into battle with armor of brass adorned by the skulls of their foes and pools of freshly spilt blood. This may appear to be quite frightening, of course.
Blood for the
Demonic,
blood
one
god.
might say. But in the world of chaos, all emotions feed one of these gods in one way or another. If you were to define Khorne with single words, you would use blood, carnage, murder, skulls. But you'd be missing out
Blood
on
and
important
skulls.
ones like strength, honor, prowess, courage, and skill. Khorne is not just about the wholesale slaughter of people. He is about the honor and power of martial combat. The true strength there is in besting someone in physical strength and skill. Of course, a murderer
posing.
would be someone who would feed Khorne, but a soldier could feed Khorne. A martial artist or professional fighter could feed Khorne. A warrior, good or bad, feeds Khorne. A diplomat does not. A premier soldier does. A GoFundMe does not. This is what leads many mortals down the path of Khorne, for he will bless those that bring him enough skulls. And in a world this destructive, there are many ways to reap a high tally for him. Prepare the dread claws and unchain the mad ones. Glorious battle awaits us today, for the world below has refused to surrender. Let us descend upon them with fury
I love
and
these quotes.
rage, giving no quarter and sparing only those warriors who fight well enough to earn a place amongst us. As to the rest, their lives and possessions are ours, but their skulls are for Khorne. Normally,
Blood for the blood god, skull for the skulls for the skull throne. Yeah, like, I guess this is the, like, asserting dominance faction. Consume the weak. Oh. Reminded that the champion of Khorne is called the Betrayer. Oh, and this is different from, I guess, the Deceiver. The Deceiver, the Betrayer. Oh. Why are they called the Betrayer? Oh. I mean, actually, I guess I don't have to ask that, but like, obviously they betrayed. Oh. And you're telling me it's not Horus. Khorne the Betrayer. So named because he will just start butchering his allies. Oh, damn. Hello, Greed. Just got here. How much heresy has Emuri committed so far? I have committed none. I am not a heretic. Welcome.
If I ever want to explain Khorne, I just kind of show him this clip.
I'd never stab you in the back, Shepard. Warriors like you and me, straight to the face.
Moving on,
Never.
Tzeentch is the
Never
second
stab you in
god,
the
the
back.
god of trickery and mischief, the changer of ways, the great conspirator, and the architect of fate. With a sacred number of 9, Tzeentch is truly the god of change in all of its forms, but there
This guy
is
looks
an
freaky.
obvious undercurrent of mischief and cunning. Tzeentch is such a liar that his pants have gone thermonuclear.
What? What is he doing?
His favorite pastime is
What was that? Why were they on his ass cheeks? Is that like literally what I did actually? Except he put the device on his butt. Like when when I put it on my belly. Shocked myself. Electro Boom, I love him. A YouTube channel known for batshit unsafe engineering stunts. Oh, oh my god. That looks
His
so
favorite
dangerous.
pastime is asking questions that have no answers while simultaneously making up answers on the spot to a question he didn't ask.
Have you ever had a dream that you want
This is me.
you could do so you want him to do you so much you could do anything?
Wait, this is so
He is
me.
such a conniving little bastard that every emotion of lying, of scheming, of trickery is a direct way to help feed him. An unfaithful partner, a politician, a spy. All these people feed Tzeentch in one way or another, and it doesn't matter if the intentions are good.
Average
Acceptance
VTuber
does
warm-up.
not feed Tzeentch. Change does. Tzeentch doesn't care about your facts. He only wants opinions. Because he represents change, he also represents hope, though. Schemes are not always bad, and even the hope to make a better tomorrow is the change he seeks. Because
looks
he is
so
the
freaky.
architect of fate and the mastery of sorcery, his presence is purely unknowable. Every depiction of a
scared.
Tzeentchian demon contains more eyes than are necessary and more mouths than I know what to do with. It is a biblically accurate angel if the angel gaslit you into thinking birds are government drones. But are they? The creatures at his disposal adorn themselves with the knowledge
Bird.
of sorceries and the unknown, all to provide a mind-crushing experience. Fighting demons from outside of our reality is difficult enough, but fighting demons from unreality, purposely attempting to trick you, is a whole new thing entirely. And that is before we even get started on the gigantic bird of sorcery you're going to need to
These
face.
birds are scary,
Do not
man.
ask which creature screams in the night. Do not question who waits for you in the shadow. It is my cry that wakes
birds,
you in
birds.
the night, and my body that crouches in the shadow. I am Tzeentch, and you are the puppet that dances to my tune. Third of the Chaos Gods.
Orcs. Well, I guess, that's not the god, but Nurgle. Oh, VTubers are Nurgle worshippers. You cannot tell me otherwise. I honestly have nothing to argue against that. Yeah. Papa Nurgle. I can see VTubers falling under Nurgle. Yeah, true facts. Yeah. I can't even argue against that. Yeah.
Is the one of acceptance of rot and pestilence, the grandfather himself, Papa Nurgle. Nurgle is the
Time
exact
to rot
opposite
in
of
my
Tzeentch.
chair.
Where Tzeentch believes in change and hope for
And
a
watch
future,
videos.
Nurgle believes in stagnation and the end of everything. At one point or another, we will all decay. We will all rot and we will all end. And with a sacred number of 7, every single thing, pestilence, boil, and everything in between, comes under the great shadow and girth of Nurgle himself. For
Girth. Also, I literally just noticed. I forgot to pin this video's link in my YouTube side. I have it on Twitch, but I forgot on YouTube. So let me just do that real quick. Bricky's video. I still had Yay Space Doors pinned. I'm sorry, Bricky. All right, there you go. Pin now. Perfect frame to pause on. Oh my god, wait, I didn't even realize. Don't look at the boobies! No! I'm sorry, YouTube. I didn't. That was not intentional. Why did you have to point that out, Nyakama? It's so over from my channel. I didn't even notice. YouTube's coming after me now. It's okay, it's covered out. Nothing to see here,
Nurgle, the plight of mortals is his fear and wine. And no matter how
Don't stare
solid
too hard.
life might be, everything will decay in the end. In the creation of life, there must be an end to that life.
Is this why you guys like Nurgle? It can't be just because of this, right?
And nobody has more creations to end
Ooh,
lives
look at the
than
belly.
Grandmother Nurgle himself.
Sheesh.
Every boil, every blemish, every pus-filled wound and disease, every rot and every plague is kept and concocted by Nurgle. This, humorously, keeps Nurgle as a jovial god. He is full of life
gosh, look at
and
him.
laughter. And by creating as many
having
diseases
fun.
as he possibly can, he shares that joy with mortals. I mean, his envoy is the great unclean one. And look at how happy he is. And there's a lot of him to love. A fear of
I don't like this message though. It's like, hey, if you like just rot and decay, you'll be happy. I don't know. I feel like we shouldn't advocate for rotting and being unclean. Yeah, and bed rotting, Yeah. Yeah, I know it's more like a go with the flow mentality. Yeah. This is just like extreme, obviously, because it's like Warhammer 40k and everything in Warhammer 40k is extreme. Yeah.
is. And there's a lot of him to love. A fear of death in general is feeding Nurgle. All disease makes him stronger, but to pray for salvation for a wounded loved one
Hakuna
is
Matata.
to feed Nurgle. The timeless and inevitable fear that one day you will rot and decay is what gives him strength. The Peloton won't feed Nurgle. Licking the doorknob on a public bathroom certainly does. However,
Ew! Who does that? I guess little kids. Dude, little kids are such a menace. Okay, this just brings back a childhood memory. When I was young and I'd be shopping, I'd be like at Walmart with my mom and my younger sister. She was very, very small at the time. And she would keep trying to lick the shopping cart, and it drove my mom insane. She'd be like, stop this is... She'd like try to like lick everything. Oh my god. Yeah, I guess kids do that. Yeah. Dude, kids are so nasty. She's a Nurgle cultist. I'm gonna, next time I meet up with her, I'm gonna tell her about Warhammer and be like, you know, I feel like this is so you.
Should you embrace your grandfather's gifts, you may find an end to your pain. Maybe. All mortal followers of the Chaos Gods found themselves there in one way or another.
Just building the immune
either
system.
Direct worship or the slow corrupting of their souls. But those that take Nurgle's
Evolution.
gifts and embrace the decay of their bodies may end up being chosen among his few as a faithful servant. In doing so, you will be free of the pain caused by Nurgle's ailments, and you may even find yourself just as jovial and happy as he is.
Free me, daddy.
Maybe. His enemies shall wither and die. His allies shall wither and die. The universe and all within it shall wither and die. And when the great corruption has settled over the land and permeated the very foundations of reality itself, then shall the Lord of all rise from the rot and ruin, spread his arms wide to reclaim all of his dutiful children. Those were the three major chaos gods for a very long time.
Oh yeah, I forgot that the fourth one, Slanesh, is more recent. Koimuri, welcome, irashai. Building, stress testing, same difference. I wonder if they'll cover Nurgle's wife. Nurgle has a wife? I didn't know this. And if it was mentioned, I completely forgot. Yeah. Longest, happiest marriage in 40k. I did not know Nurgle had a wife. Oh, interesting. Elder God he keeps captive. Oh. Is it happy? Is it truly happy? I don't know about, you know, happiest marriage. Okay, maybe in 40k it's the happiest. Yeah. Wife in a jar. Yeah, it's more of a slave. I don't know about wife then. Yeah, happy wife. Goddess of life in a jar. There is no truly happy with Nurgle. This is crazy. This is some crazy lore. He tests diseases on her. She's a test subject. Wow, actually, literally a wife in a jar. Well, her only other option was being eaten by Slanesh. Oh, you know, the lesser. You know, you gotta choose the lesser of two evils, I guess. But yeah, we're getting into the goon god now. I think.
Emboldened by war and death on a galactic scale, ever present but now fact on the suffering of a galaxy. One race, for a while, was able to elude the pull of chaos, an advanced race of psychically attuned aliens whose master over the physical world was so strong that chaos could not glean from them the morsels of power they once had. Or so they couldn't. Not for a long while. 60 million years ago, in an attempt to combat the Necrons in Votann, the old ones made a new species. One with innate power in the warp and the ability to harness it with a mastery that was unseen by so many others. A mastery so powerful, the Necrons retreated to sleep in order to wait it out.
Yeah.
It was no longer a galaxy to be ruled by them, but instead begin the age.
They're so colorful. The Eldars!
The Eldar are a race of pointed-eared humanoids that are all psychically attuned to the warp. If we're being meta here, these are space elves, and these elves ruled the galaxy
so colorful.
at the time the Necrons went to sleep and humanity began to rise. The Eldar's empire was galaxy-wide and lasted for longer than any other galactic power that we know of. Their understanding of all things was
old
exceptional. With every single one of them being psychers,
No wonder.
they had the ability to master the warp and use it to their advantage. See, being a psyker is basically like being a wizard, or I guess in this case it's more of a sorcerer, since you are born with the gifts as opposed to learning them. In order to utilize your psychic abilities, however, you must then reach into the other dimension, into the warp, into hell for that power. So if you were to say, cast fireball, your mind would reach into the warp, gather the strength to rewrite reality to then cast fireball. Now you might think to yourself, doesn't that mean if you are opening up a power to the warp, you may create a lot of risk to yourself because of all the horrible things we just talked about in the warp? Yes.
This is where they start tainting the warp. The grail. It's being tainted. But yeah, I like the old art that he showed earlier. Yeah, you could tell it's old because of like the colors and like, yeah, just the style. Oh, it's interesting to think how like long Warhammer's been around for, because I didn't even like really hear about it until like recently. So like, yeah, it's crazy to me that it's been around for so long. Damn, I'm old. Game is almost 50-ish years, right? Yeah, it's insane. Like, no wonder there's so much lore. Yeah, 40K has been around since 1987. Wow, Fantasy 1983. Dude! The game is older than me!
However, in Warhammer 40k, willpower is a real, tangible thing, in the sense that in its own right, it can be weaponized. Being strong of will means being strong of soul, and being strong of soul means you can resist the pull of the warp that much more. A more inexperienced psyker opens up a hole into the warp that is large, and that hole widens to get more power, allowing evil things to get in. A powerful psyker is able to open a very small hole, but with immense force, to get the same amount of power with less risk. The Eldar are...
Speaking of psychers, didn't the game remove like the psyker phase or something in the game? Like, I don't remember. I think it was the psychers. Like something about them getting nerfed because they removed the phase in the game. In the tabletop game. Yeah. Psyker phase is gone. Yeah.
Immense force to get the same amount of power with less risk. The Eldar are master psychers. Every single one of them can call upon the warp, and over millions of years they have perfected it so much so that they can weave structures out of it. In some species in the galaxy, they utilize the warp itself for interstellar travel. The Eldar ain't having any of that noise. How about we utilize a fancy alternative mode of travel that is substantially safer than the old ones created called the webway? What about dying? Miss me with that. We no longer age. And if we do, we can just be reborn like that.
That's such a cheat.
Water, materials, we make things out of distilled warp essence itself. We sing unreality into cathedrals to dine in. What truly could the Eldari Empire possibly fear?
And yeah, I see. They spread psychic stuff across the command and shooting phase. Oh, psycho phase is now just psycho weapons and shooting phase. Gotcha. Oh, look at that. What do we have to fear? Yeah, this is a good thumbnail. Look at that. Yeah. Oh, are we getting into the debauchery?
The Eldari Empire's biggest fear was themselves.
It was
the
Bricky
society
all along.
so perfect they wanted for naught, and this led them down dark and dangerous paths. When the base functions of society are no longer a problem for you, you tend to experiment. Perhaps the medium rare steak on your plate would be better if it was elf meat. Hey, I'm not saying we should make cannibalism legal, but like,
I don't know about that.
What's the issue with a little taste? Violent sports is one thing, but how come we don't do sports to the death? I mean, I'm just saying, like, if both participants are willing and clear about it, like, what really is the problem there, you know?
Consent.
Art is in the eye of the viewer, and what is considered art is completely up to the concept of one's own interest. A canvas adorned with the blood of a man wronged is truly the visual poetry that our society needs. Hedonism. With a slow and consistent hedonism, the Eldar slid backwards into debauchery of the sort I cannot discuss on this YouTube video.
It is not YouTube friendly. Blood Bowl mentioned? Oh yeah, what is Blood Bowl? It's a game?
Murder on stage, delicacies and drugs distilled from one another, the trade of slaves and concubines, and much worse.
Oh my God. They're partying a little too hard. Leah clearly already on the path. Oh my gosh, don't call that Leah like that. Oh, it's a spin-off Warhammer tabletop game. Oh, thank you for the first time chat. A joke kind of football rugby. That's so interesting. Like, it's so interesting that they go like, oh, let's combine Warhammer and football. Oh, interesting.
Eldar physiology has their emotions heightened, and they can feel more than a human does. So while it can provide lows of pure despair, it can also provide greater highs than you have ever known. And swinging between the two of them was the Eldar game. The Warp took notice of this heavily, and it began to react. On a galactic scale, the debauchery and the hedonism of the Eldar race caused levels of warp storm so pronounced and so volatile that it cut off interstellar travel for all those who used it. Communications between planets was removed, and a nightmarish era of Old Night began. This continued.
Oh. We will never die. We will never die. We will never die. Also is full of lore. It is. Blood Bowl? That's crazy. Leah called Slanesh dark sex. So yeah, she kind of is, especially with her new frequency podcast. Oh my gosh, I haven't listened to the podcast. I should go listen to it. And you know what's funny? It's funny you mention that because actually on the tab I'm, on right now, you know how like it shows like video recommends on the side? And actually there is a short of Leah's frequency podcast on there. Sorry, I was covering my phone. My tracking. Yeah, it's being recommended. Oh. Yeah, Leah is fun. Oh. I should go listen to that. But I mean, she isn't wrong about Slanesh, I would say.
For thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years, the Eldar all but removed from the problems being caused as they entered heights of more and more ecstasy. They needed more and more and more. Nothing was ever
all
enough.
The goon.
More murder, more torture. It's art, it's delicacies, it's life. This silence offends Slanesh. Wait.
That other chaos god you didn't mention.
Slanesh, the prince of pleasure, she who thirsts, the god of unspeakable excess,
Goon for the
is
goon
our
god.
fourth chaos god, with the sacred number of 6 adorning their title. Slanesh is a bit of a tricky one, because with our other 3 chaos gods, there was a certain understanding of human emotions and desires, but for Slanesh, that desire is how they get their power. The words to be used would be decadence, pleasure, perfection, passion,
never
excess,
goon?
and
No,
many
goon harder.
others. The pursuit
For Slanesh.
of more, the want to do more, experience more, become more. That's what gives Slanesh their gifts. A lot of people believe that Slanesh is something that originates with sex. Specifically, and it makes sense why they assume that. The visuals of Slanesh patrons are all very lithe and sexual, but they are also intentionally androgynous to appear attractive to a variety of intrigues. However, to think that Slanesh specifically derives from sex would be mistaken. While it is true that a lot of humanity's actions
I need to pause on this. What is going on here?
sex would be mistaken. While it is true that a lot of humanity's
sex.
actions can relate to getting laid, and Slanesh is the dark prince of desire, it's more on the lines of feeling an excess of an emotion. It is excessive touch and scent and desire, and a lot of that has to do with sex. That's why it looks like sex, but it's more than just
tricks
that.
on it.
A patron of the arts may feed Slanesh.
Not the Funko Pops. What? not the wall of Funko Pops. Why? Why must you cause me pain like this? God, I hate Funko Pops. Me too. I mean, okay, look. If you guys haven't seen it on my Clips channel, there is a Funko Pop short. So yeah, that would explain everything. But yeah, I was just laughing because I put that out recently too, and I'm like, oh my god, the Funko Pops are back again. Yeah, Funkos for the Funko-thon. Does Slanesh like Funko Pops? What is going on here?
Looks like sex, but it's more than just that. A patron of the arts may feed Slanesh, one that aspires to become the perfect chef or master of their craft, and the sheer pursuit of that alone will feed Slanesh. Whiplash?
I'm sorry, but if Slanesh likes excessive Funkos, I don't think, yeah, I don't think I could worship Slanesh. Sorry, the gooning was okay. The Funko Pops, that's where I draw the line, you know?
Is Slanesh's absolute favorite film. Videos where people beat Elden Ring on a dance pad feed Slanesh.
There are no two words in the English language more harmful than good job.
But is there a line?
No, man, no.
This also moves into the concept of feeling.
Yeah, one Funko
Sensation
too far.
is a majorly Slanesh-coded thing. It might start off feeling good, but then you get to play around a little bit, you know? You play with a little bit of pain. Light pain might not be enough, so you might want more. Or inflicting the pain could be your jam. Music can increase to volumes that may hurt your ears, and even then that might not be enough. More. You must have more. Many of the disciples of Slanesh carry a demonic form in their lithe grace. The keeper of secrets is his chosen envoy, and their movements are a blur of dance and pain with an aura all the more fatal. They dance and sing, but there's
nasty.
always a form of malice behind every action
They're
take.
freaky.
An alluring gaze that will pull you in right before the demonic entity can crush you in that grip.
I don't know if I want to be pulled in. It doesn't have to be Funkos. It can also be commissioning hundreds of skevs. Oh, I don't do that. Well, VTubers would never do that. Such a thing. I can't remember if it's a fan theory or hinted at canonically, but Slanesh feeding on excess is sort of an issue for the other gods. Oh, is it? Too much war, Khorne has to share with Slanesh. Too much decay and stagnation, Nurgle is voluntold. Too much girl bossing, Slanesh will partake whether Tzeentch wants to. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. Do you guys know? Is this hinted at canonically? Emuri, you're talking about this like you'd have a choice? What do you mean? Of course I have a choice. I totally don't need hundreds of skevs. Skevs for the VTubers. The skev Funko meta, there's more than enough hammers. All the gods overlap a little. Yeah, I could see them coming into contact sort of thing.
Slanesh's palace has 6 layers surrounding it, and one of them is the excess of gluttony, where the participant finds themselves in a beautiful banquet full of the most delicious foods imaginable. Tables of delicacies and rivers of wine tempt the user to such a degree that they cannot stop stuffing their face, unaware that the things they are eating are very vaguely familiar meat. If one does not see themselves drowning in the river of wine, they may soon fill their bodies up so much that they cease to function and fall over, becoming part of the banquet themselves. That is one of these 6 layers of Slanesh's palace. This was the ecstasy that the Eldar civilization indulged in for millennia.
Never heard of that tag
and did so
before.
at a monumental scale that they created a god from it. Find pleasure in every moment. Indulge in every whim. Let lesser races feel the burden of their crude lives. We are beyond such concerns or worries. Every power is ours to use. Every sensation ours to experience. We are truly masters of the galaxy, and all others exist only to satisfy our curiosities. We have earned our position of power. Let us forever taste the fruits of such achievement. Time itself is ours to command. We are eternal.
On that note, since he mentioned food, I'm gonna take a bite of some food here. Yeah, short break. Yummy. Gotta eat. Yeah, on that note, I'm just gonna eat a bit. Yeah. Since he mentioned feederism. Don't know what that is, but it must be, it must have to do with eating, so yeah. Don't eat too much, you'll feed Slaanesh. Just a little. Yeah, what a place to pause on. YouTube, don't come after me. It's just letters, I swear. What you eating? I'm eating pad thai. Leftovers from yesterday. Yummy. Yeah, this video has been making me really hungry, All this talk about eating. I made tuna melt tonight. Oh, that sounds so tasty. All right, let me drink some water and we'll go back to the video. All right. I think he did a better job of talking about Slaanesh this time. He kept circling back to sex in the first one, and this highlights the malice and unease a lot better. I agree. Yeah, he talked less about sex here. Unless he's about to get into it because of this frame. Like, Yeah. Yeah, you guys should hydrate and eat too. Yeah. Konnichiwa, irashai, welcome. That was some chugging. You know what? I'm gonna chug a little more. Yummy. Mizu oishii. Alright, here we go.
With the birth of Slaanesh, the Eldari Empire ceased to be. A catastrophic event so horrible that the warp ripped a hole permanently in our reality. A fissure forever known as the Eye of Terror. With the sudden inhalation of this god's largest breath, the Eldari souls are a currency to be now collected by she who thirsts. Trillions of Eldar died in an instant. Slaanesh gorging.
Rip. I guess that's what you get when you goon too hard. Does a Minecraft McDonald's meal count? McDonald's has Minecraft meals right now? I didn't know. Do they have like a Happy Meal? Does it come with a toy?
On their souls to satisfy his palate. 99.9% of their entire species died, and the rest are doomed to a fate worse than death. For Slaanesh now stakes a claim on each and every Eldar soul. From the moment they pass on, an eternity of torment awaits them. The remaining Eldar devote their entire lives to stopping this eventuality. Their dying race so devoted to saving themselves from the Dark Prince. And, in doing so, have found very creative ways.
The craft
in the
world
modern
Eldar.
world of Warhammer, the craft world Eldar
Here
are
we
the
go.
main force of Eldar in the galaxy and represent the elf style that many think of when you think elves in space. Fantasy elves in space, not those elves. We'll get to them. A craft world is a monumentally large starship, the size of a continent, that acts as a form of flotilla. During the highest reaches of hedonism, many Eldar saw the demonic writing on the wall and began to try and seek asylum from their own debauchery. Those Eldar left on monumental craft worlds into the far
his music's so
reaches
epic.
of the galaxy and saved themselves from Slaanesh awakening. The main thing the craft world Eldar seek is to temper their minds and bodies in a way that will never allow them to slide back into their old ways. The representation they carry is that of a more feudal Japanese motif. Eldar follow paths as they age, the path of the warrior, the seer, the poet, the diplomat, the bone singer, and so on. These paths are a strict code of conduct to hone the heightened Eldar psychology down a school of thought and action. And
really
if it
like
sounds a
these
hell of a lot
ships.
like Bushido, well, you're damn
Bushido!
right. Here's a medal and a soul stone. Don't lose it or an eternity of torment awaits you. Going through these paths will allow you to take up not just a role in Eldar society, but keep your mind clear from the past worries that plagued them. Every Eldar is said to be a psyker, however, very few of them actually utilize their psychic powers for fear of tempting she who thirsts. A large amount of emphasis is also put on ancestors
belly.
of the Eldar and learning from them the farther you go down a path. This can sometimes be seen by the large variety of jewels adoring the armor of Eldar. Those are called soul stones, the biggest middle finger to Slaanesh they can think of. See, when an Eldar dies, these stones act as a backup, and instead of their souls going to Slaanesh, they are then trapped and stored in this little stone. So when the Eldar say they commune with their ancestors, they mean so very literally, as the spirit and soul of generations before them are stored here. Often larger structures may contain vast amounts of soul stones, such as the Infinity Circuit in the craft world itself, allowing the souls of the dead to help power their enormous starship. The young...
Oh, wait, maybe he mentioned this before, but I just forgot it. But I don't remember them storing souls in stones. That's pretty cool. And they power the ships too.
Do not desire the discipline of the path, but rather their curiosity drives them to try every fruit from the tree. Thus, it is that so many take the path of wandering
this is
or the
new.
path of damnation in their first years of adulthood.
Gotcha.
And so, the great tragedy of our kind is played out again and again as the number of our
Quote,
people
unquote,
shrink
new.
from generation to generation. These paths, when completed, allow an Eldar to move to the
nice
next one, then the next one. However, since this is the grim darkness of the world, many of these paths rely on combat. The Eldar actually had gods at one point. Cain, Vol, Isha, Azaryan, and so on.
The jar?
These gods are aspects...
Wait, is Isha the quote unquote wife in a jar that you guys talked about earlier? Or I don't remember the name. The jar, why? The look he made when he was looking at the jar. Yeah, Nurgle's got her trapped in a jar, basically. I see. Nurgle's test subject. Poor Isha.
Isha,
It looks like a jar.
Azaryan, and so on. These gods are aspects of the Eldar pantheon, and while many were killed in
Papa
Slaanesh's
Nurgle.
creation, their teachings live on. For some, the strongest devotion to the Eldar gods is to join the Aspect Warriors and embody the wrath of Cain, their god of war. While guardians of the Eldar craft worlds are more akin to a trained militia, the Aspect Warriors embody a particular variant of the path. Each are led by a Phoenix Lord, a name passed down from generations and embodying the souls of prior Phoenix Lords with each
Wow, that's a
new
lot of
one.
hair.
The Howling Banshees, led by Jane Czar, Fugin
Looks like
and his
a-
fire dragons, Baharoth and his
Looks like a Pantene commercial here with the hair flow.
Banshees, led by Jane Czar, Fugin and his fire dragons, Baharoth and his swooping hawks, or Malgan Ra and his dark reapers. Each aspect shrine carries with it the Eldar way of war. Fast, hard-hitting, and incredibly tricksy, for they do not have the numbers to fight in any other way. The Craftworld Eldar show how mangled an empire can be by their own actions. They once ruled the galaxy in an honest, non-hyperbolic way, but in the end, they were bested by themselves, and their most prominent remnants are forced to drift aimlessly through the galaxy, trying to save their species from extinction and resist the temptations of she who thirsts. But for some, the party, it's just beginning.
Not careful dancing. Yeah, so some of them are like, you know what? Party time. Let's go. Someday he will get a model. Oh my gosh, Bricky with a VTuber model. I hope it'll have cat ears. Oh boy, here we go. The Dark Elves. The party never stops. I really like the detail where the souls are trapped in stones that power the ships though. I like that new detail that he goes into. This explanation of Drukhari goes so hard. It's so good. Oh, let's go. Let's go for the worst race ever. So
deep within the webway is the city of Kamara. This dark city once existed as a port in the webway that allowed for ease of transport for the Eldar between its various domains. The significance of this city meant that it needed to be a bit more of a neutral territory outside of the jurisdiction of general Eldar law, and therefore it was allowed to self-govern. This did not go well. The Dark City became the hideaway for all manner of sin. The Eldar race slipped into debauchery on a galactic scale that it birthed a god, and this was the city you went to when that wasn't enough for you. The convenience of being so deep within the webway was that it exists as a blind spot to the horrors of the war.
Imagine
so
wanting
while the
more
rest
debauchery.
of the Eldar fled the downfall of their species, Kamara kept partying. When Slanesh was birthed, they were saved the worst of it, thanks to them being nice and neatly tucked away inside the webway. But only somewhat. The Dark Prince did not have a grip around their soul, but the tiniest pinky finger, and they were still pulling. But due to their excess hedonism, they found a solution to this problem. If they tormented others, they could temporarily rejuvenate their souls and continue to cheat their inevitable death by placating the Prince of Pleasure. And if they kept this up on the regular, they could effectively become immortal. Thus, the Drukhari were born. Unlike the more stoic elves you see in works of fiction, the Drukhari themselves exist as a sort of analog of the more grim and fiendish elves you find in Norse and European mythology. The Drukhari are soul vampires, but the more basic means to feed are hardly enough to keep them going. This desire to feed is known as the thirst, and to quench it effectively, they have mastered the art of biotechnology and dark sciences to really juice themselves up on the crispy soul sprite from the vending machine called the Galaxy. The majority of Drukhari—
they're just thirsty little guys, you know? I love my evil elves. Oh yeah, good night to those who are going to go to bed. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, for some of you it may be late. Good night, good night. Oyasumi. Yeah, Flashman surrounded by VTubers is funnier. I agree. I like the contrast. Yeah, he stated he likes the juxtaposition of being a meat man surrounded by anime women. Yeah, I think it's funnier that way. Alright. Bricky VTuber.
act as pirates and raiders and slavers. They go into our physical reality and drag people back to Kamara to commit atrocities that go beyond any imaginative torture a human can think of. The Drukhari are organized in various groups throughout the Dark City to accomplish this in a more organized and extremely brutal way. The Cabals act as the main warriors of the city, led by their archons. Witches and succubi act as entertainment for Kamara in gladiatorial arenas, and the flesh-crafting homunculus keep the Drukhari alive and discover ever-increasingly more painful ways to torment their ever-increasingly large supply.
Are his nipples getting pinched? Sorry. Like, what is going on here? I had to hit pause. I was like, huh. Worse, probably. Well, I don't know. I think it's above the nipple. Oh, me. Wait, are you sure though? It's a phase. Yeah. Okay. I'll stop. Yeah, I'll stop questioning it. Yeah. Maybe I don't want to know.
Increasingly more painful ways to torment their ever increasingly large supply of slaves they are brought. The Dark Eldar see the other inhabitants of the galaxy as little more than cattle, livestock that can be brought to bay or slaughtered at any time. Their fodder, however, is not meat and muscle, but the anguish and despair of the weak. The Dark Eldar do indeed drink blood, but also tears, and most sustaining of all, the raw essence of pain they wring out of their captives. The truth of the matter is that Drukhari sustain themselves on the suffering of others, not just morally, but physically. Kamara is a city rife with backstabbing schemes and murder. It is the worst back alleys of the worst ghettos at the best of times. Nothing is more horrifying to a Drukhari than death, for death will see them in the talons of Slaanesh for an eternity of torment. So they do everything they can to stop this. The homunculi
avoid at all
covens
costs.
regrow dead members from pieces of flesh as bargaining chips. The succubi create grisly gladiatorial spectacles that literally rejuvenate the audience members as captives are murdered for sport. To be captured by the Drukhari is one of, if not the worst fate imaginable in the world of Warhammer 40k.
Actually, the worst. Well, you know, most freakiest faction. Also, I like how they're literally called succubi. Look at, you know, pretty self-explanatory. The true good guys in Warhammer. Every person currently killing a Drukhari. I'd rather immolate myself than be captured by the Drukhari.
If not the worst fate imaginable in the world of Warhammer 40k. In a universe built on
They'll
war
ruin your
crimes,
life.
they are the most debased war crimers of all time. To be tortured and sacrificed in the gladiatorial arenas is a blessing, for you have escaped the fate of being in the flesh smiths control group, or being turned into a living and breathing piece of furniture for an Archon's quarters. In a cruel twist of fate, a newly born Drukhari does not arrive into this world loving torture. It is something they must grow to love. Grow to appreciate the suffering of other beings in order to survive in the world they have been brought into. If they succeed, they become some of the worst monsters in the known galaxy, a dark reflection to the Craftworlders and a taste of what Eldar society was like before the fall. If they do not succeed, they must find purchase elsewhere. Often those will join smaller parts of Eldar society like the Exodites or the Harlequins. Exodites believe in a pre-industrial variant of their society, often retreating to more lush worlds to ride dinosaurs and live off the land.
Looks like a chocobo, but a little freakier. I can't believe they're innocent babies at first. Like, they must have, like, freaky childhoods. I don't even want to know.
Prehistoric style that I would normally laugh at if they weren't
Space chocobos
riding dinosaurs like ballers. The Harlequin dancing troupe are a subsect of Eldar that are more than just a little strange. A carnival of dancing jesters that serve the Eldar laughing god of Kegarak. They arrive.
I don't like the jesters. They're freaky. Toxic goth girlfriend Drukhari. But wait, don't people like toxic goth girlfriends? Thought they were kind of trendy.
Never when expected and leave just as quickly. Blurs of light carry their footsteps as they dance their foes into a grave. Combat is just as much of a joke as it is a play on bloody murder. They travel and aid many other Eldar and sometimes even humanity for reasons we can never understand. Perhaps one day we would have, were they not stripped of their army book and folded into the Eldari Codex. So I suppose it'll have to stay a mystery, or maybe it was one of Kegarak's master plans to get back at she who thirsts and save their species. Who could know? Perhaps it was all.
Was that copium? What did it say on the screen? Oh, okay. I thought for a second it said opium, and I was like, huh? Yeah, copium.
Who could know? Perhaps it was all a
The
sick
crop,
and
though.
practical joke to Kegarok, and he would just find it very funny to watch me fumble the discussion of one human on a tiny blue planet
This art is
across the
crazy.
galaxy. Oh, speaking of,
The Imperial Man!
before the fall of the Eldar, Earth, or Terra, as it's called,
Let's
was
go.
in ruin. One man who looks to put the pieces back together. Where did he come from?
Bricky!
We don't know. Some say he was the result of early shamans. Some say he is the final old one who escaped their species' genocide. And those that are smartest know the answer is it doesn't matter. He revealed himself as the Emperor of Mankind.
For the Emperor.
And he was tasked with the most monumental upheaval of humanity possible. The
Wait,
Eldar-
where are we at the video? I think we're sort of halfway. Yeah, it's time for half the factions in the game. Here we go. It's time for the man. John Warhammer. Super Jesus.
Mari's warp
He
fluctuations had
looks
turned
great
the golden
here.
age of humanity into old night. Interstellar travel cut off? Check. An AI uprising? Check. Brand new psychers popping up and not knowing how to handle their powers? Oh, check. Demonic incursions? Check. Thousands of years this occurred, and now the Emperor of Mankind showed himself to put the pieces back together. Unifying Terra under his rule, the Emperor founded the
Let's
Imperium
go.
of Man and ruled it with an iron fist. He was the supreme leader and nothing could stand against him. He wished to
I like how he was mentioned earlier, but now we're back to him.
He was the supreme leader and nothing could stand against him. He wished to remove mankind from the yoke of its former failures, and he knew he would be the best
Let him cook.
leader they could have.
Let him cook.
Because he was right. AI banned. Religion banned. You did as the Emperor
Ban
told
everything.
you, or his Thunder Warriors would put you in your place. That place often being a grave. Now, Terra was thriving.
You don't wanna
but
be a
humanity
heretic.
needed to reclaim its long-lost brethren scattered across the stars. But to do so, he needed those that could build him a fleet truly meant for the reconquering of the galaxy. And so he turned his attention to the red planet of Mars.
Adeptus Mechanicus.
Mars and Terra were close allies long before the Unification Wars. Mars
The
was the
science
first
dudes.
world terraformed by humanity and became what would ultimately be the first hive world, an epicenter for industry and technology. The Age of Strife did not treat the Red Planet kindly, however. Mars was cut off from Terra during this time, and the warp storms that ravaged the
that
planet
Mars?
turned it into an absolute nuclear hellscape.
Or is that Terra? I like how it has like rings, but like they're like very like mechanical looking. Oh, it's Mars. Okay. Yeah, I like the design. Another banger song, Noosphere. I should listen to the soundtrack, the Warhammer soundtrack. Like all the music has been banger. Oh, the rings are for defense. Oh, those aren't rings. That's a ship assembly factory. Oh. Interesting. Yeah, I like the design of that. Mechanicus music hits different. Time to
Those who
listen.
were on the surface were turned into
In my
your
off-screen
run-of-the-mill
time.
mutant if they even survived the bombings they inflicted on themselves, but others were lucky enough to escape beneath the red sands in powerful fallout shelters. These became their generational habitats, but this resulted in extreme reliance on technology and those who could use it. They began to view the technology keeping them alive less as a technological advancement and more of a divine intervention, with those skilled in it as priests. The Martians began to worship the power of the machine, and this resulted in the formation of the cult Mechanicus, the belief in a holy trinity known as the Three-in-One. The machine god serving as the spirit who gave rise to all technologies known.
He's deposing. Leah's boys. Oh, wait, that actually makes sense. This is very on brand for Leah, I think, these guys.
The machine god, serving as the spirit who gave rise to all technologies known, the motive force, the deity that gives all life its ability to live, and the Omnissiah, a physical manifestation of the machine
the
god
Omnissiah.
itself. This belief began to manifest in them physically as well. What were once humans began to really mess around with the character creator options, and this tech obsession made them view instances of flesh to be weak and spend their lives removing what makes them human and replacing it with mechanical augments. Robotic limbs, glowing eyes, mechadendrite arms. What was once a mass of flesh now
Flesh is
looks like the
weak.
back of a router.
Abandoned
And the
flesh.
oldest members of the Mechanicus no longer even look slightly human. In addition to this, cloaked over all of their mechanical appendages are robes that reflect the color of their homeworld, the red robes of the Mechanicus. The Cult Mechanicum, now the Adeptus Mechanicus, create a fascinating combination of cultures all birthed into one. Basically, techno-zealot
They're sorta
monks.
cyborgs, right?
Organic life is the machine god's greatest accomplishment within the scope of the great work. All praise he who is three in one. By giving us life within an organic shell, he presents us with the means and opportunity to improve upon physicality, as is his divine
They're
plan.
very
He grants us
cyborgs,
complex
okay.
weakness so we might learn
Full
metallic
cyborg.
strength and ascend to his level of machinic perfection. The Emperor
Only the priests wear red. The engineers have white robes. Oh, I didn't know that difference. Yeah, I like how they're like very mechanical, but they still wear like robes. Oh, T-pose to make your car work. Also, I really like this meme that he's showing right now.
strength and ascend
One of my
to
favorites.
his level of machinic perfection. The Emperor's arrival to Mars was very much a walking in with the
What is
pizzas
going
while
on?
the room is on fire moment, but to the Mechanicum, they saw his arrival as confirmation of their belief. They took one look at the glowing golden entity that showed up on their doorstep and were like, that's him. That's the guy right there.
Yeah.
And they immediately accepted him as the Omnissiah. Obviously,
just
showing
had the
up and
aura.
being called Machine Jesus shortly after wiping out all instances of non-Machine Jesus a little bit beforehand is an instance of capital H heresy. But the Emperor saw the bigger picture. Were they strange with how they rubbed unguents on themselves, burned incense, and prayed to machines for them to work? Sure, but that's a lot of production right there. So the Emperor devised the Treaty of Olympus Mons, a unifying agreement between Terra and Mars. And this union would be permanently etched into the Aquila of the Imperium as the two-headed eagle. One head for Terra, the other for Mars.
That's
The
cool.
forces of the Emperor will be supplied with all the technology
Didn't know they
and
had a
weapons they
union.
needed to reunite the scattered remnants of humanity under one banner. And the Mechanicum of Mars will be able to keep doing what they were doing religiously and scientifically so long as they kept up their tithes. This tithe meant total quality control over all technology in the Imperium. Is it a big spaceship? AdMech take care of that. Tanks? AdMech take care of that. The literal
They got
bullets
everything.
in a gun, you guessed it. But unlike the factories of today, the forge worlds of Mars and the creations of the Mechanicum are a bit of a different experience altogether. Instead of a factory on a random given world, the entirety of the planet's surface is dedicated to manufacturing. But that's a little tricky, isn't it?
It's kind of steampunky in a way. Yeah, where like just like you get all this like kind of like technological stuff that overtake everything. It looks very factory like. Yeah, it's what a factory game would look like if it was planet scale. Oh, you know, it kind of reminds me of a like Factorio in terms of the aesthetics. Oh. Yeah, one eye open, looking to the future, one eye closed to forget the past. I like that. It's cool. I like the message.
Considering that the usage of Silica Animus, or AI, is a big no-no, and basically the largest affront to their divine machine god possible. Fortunately,
Is that
there's
Dwayne
a
Johnson?
really neat alternative that
so
they've come up with,
bad.
and that's called a servitor. Incredible devices that can do anything
What's
from
that?
manufacturing, maintenance, basic door operation, even just float around like a helpful little drone.
AI Rocky rocks. Oh, that's what that was supposed to be. I was like, what the heck is going on there? Factorial about the whole planet, yeah. Oh, I need to go back.
Servitor. Incredible devices that can do anything from manufacturing, maintenance, basic door
Rock and
operation,
stone.
even just float around like a helpful little drone. It's an extremely easy process too. All you need to do is take a human who is dying or preferably an enemy of the state,
Our Lady
most
of
likely that
Peace,
one,
oh.
and lobotomize them. And then
Oh,
reprogram their brains to
lobotomy.
do exactly what they tell you. They even got little baby versions
Oh,
of
God,
them.
not these
Yay.
things.
So now you
Not
can rest
these
easy
things.
knowing that the entirety
Not
of
the
the
cherubs.
Imperium, because they outlaw AI and learning new tech is heresy, is run on lobotomized slaves. Whether
Wait, they made the cherubs? I actually didn't know that. That makes a lot more sense now. Yeah, I didn't know they made the cherubs. This is definitely nightmare fuel. Yeah, not the scary looking mechanical babies that fly around, you know.
they deserve it or not is unimportant, and whether they can still keep their consciousness trapped in their own minds is another thing entirely.
Oh, jeez. What game is this? Ooh. Help.
Your incompetence is showing.
An excerpt from the
Oh,
Servitor
Dark Tide.
Creation Factories.
I see, I
Naked
see.
human beings were standing in a switch-packed line between high fences. The Manufactorum
Oh,
produced
give me
servitors.
just a second. Give me just a second. Alright, sorry. Husbando came in to ask a question real quickly. You'll give me a message. Yeah. Alright, back to the video. Sorry I interrupted. Here you go. Let's start from the quote.
From the Servitor Creation Factories. Naked human beings were standing in a switch-packed line between high fences. The Manufactorum produced servitors, but it was more akin to an abattoir than a workshop. Every surface was easily cleanable. Servitors with spray units surgically attached to their backs prowled about, hosing filth from slit drains set into the perfectly smooth, slanted floors.
Slit
As the
drains.
line slowly advanced, the people were passed through various scanning devices, most of them mounted in ugly, functional arches that let out a constant series of acceptance chimes. Occasionally, one would let out an angry blare, and the indicator lumens would flash red. The rejected person was then swallowed up by a trapdoor
Oh.
opening beneath their feet. From these pits wafted a hideous stench and the
Ugh.
grinding sounds of industrial mincers. One
Ugh.
rejected man grabbed onto the lip and hung there, arms and hands bloodied, shouting a stream of defiant profanities.
So messed up.
Guards lined the grating either side of him and shocked him until he fell. The adepts wouldn't even waste bullets on these people. The trapdoor flipped up, and the next terrified person was ushered forward. Violent metal arms snatched them up and spread-eagled them in the air, and a servitor shearer shaved them all over. At another, they were subjected to a high-pressure counterseptic wash whose chemical stink made me choke from 100 feet away. More scanners,
Yikes.
more rejects winnowed out. Machines forcibly dressed them in a heavy rubberized garment common to all monotask servitors. These were saggy on them, all one size, until another process shrank them to fit their bodies, where metal cuffs, sockets, and collars bit into vulnerable flesh. The last few prayers gave way to screams at that point, and even the most stoic shouted in pain. They were ushered over a floor buzzing with power that made them shriek with every footstep. "What's that for?" I asked. "Follicular inhibitor, to stop their hair from growing," he said. Freaking sweet, Lois! As for their scientific pursuits, the Mechanicum believe in the preservation of knowledge.
Yeah, that was some I have no math and I must scream 24/7 shit. Yeah. Yeah, so much in 40K is fucked up in a funny way. This is legitimately one of my greatest fears. Yeah, and then here it is. It's all here in 40K. Yeah. That was a crazy excerpt. Yeah, and it can get much worse.
Above all, and the quest to expand.
Let me go back a sentence. Oh.
He said. Freaking sweet, Lois! As for their scientific pursuits, the Mechanicum believe in the preservation of knowledge above all, and the quest to expand it. However, as opposed to just innovating and inventing on their own with their vast technological know-how, they believe that it is a form of tech heresy. You see, because of their religious viewpoints on technology itself, they believe that the instruction booklet itself is just as holy as the Lego set it builds, and to innovate on that without the proper written knowledge is to go against the divine word of the machine god itself. All knowledge.
I like how they're all machines, and like technology, but like they still write on paper. Look at that long ass piece of paper. It looks like a receipt. Yeah, I like that, you know, technology, but like kind of like, I guess like retro aesthetic in a way. Yeah. Oh, it's human skin? I did not need to know that. Paper isn't durable enough. Fair. I mean, I guess like where are they getting trees, right? I guess skin makes more sense. Yeah. The scale of 40k is usually dismissed, but generally a bullet is worth more than a person picked at random. I see. I mean, you know, this universe is all about war. So, Yeah, this is a true horror of 40k in my opinion. Industrial scale cruelty and indifference. Yeah, like individual humans, they don't matter here. Human life is the cheapest resource here. Yeah. Crazy.
Is to go against the divine word of the machine god itself. All knowledge is already in the universe. You simply need to rediscovering it and attempting to invent something to improve upon divinity is very heretical.
Yeah, it's more
prior to the Age of
human skin than
Strife, humanity
trees.
was able to populate the stars with devices known as standard template constructs, or STCs. These devices were, as far as we know, supercomputers with the ability to pull up and detail how to create literally anything a startup colony would need. Essentially, they were devices with the entirety of human technological know-how so that you could make a home away from home. The Mechanicum will not make anything without an STC. Quite literally nothing, because this is the knowledge they seek, and that knowledge is divine. One time, scouts of the Imperial Guard found a functioning STC that provided the schematics on a knife that happened to be a bit lighter and a bit sharper than most other knives. These knives were adopted by 30 Space Marine chapters and were one of the most advanced discoveries of the century. This discovery was so significant that they were each awarded a planet for finding this.
Oh, wow.
A planet for a machine that taught them how to make knives. Due to their religious organization, you can probably guess the Mechanicum are organized in a feudal structure with the highest individuals in power being a part of the priesthood. Cream of the crop being the fabricator general of Mars itself, who serves as a high lord of Terra, but also oversees the entirety of the Mechanicum below. Below them are tech priests that oversee the cult for the quest of knowledge and other more straightforward theocracy. Forge worlds tend to operate slightly more independently, what can cause some power struggles within the Mechanicum, because, you know, despite them all being weird robots, they love being given praise. And despite being the manufacturing end of the Imperium, they do actually have their own military forces. They have the Skitarii Private Army and all their various 1920s Martian-style mechanisms like Doom Crawlers, Castellan robots, and of course, the Titan Legions, because nothing is cooler than
that's the Mogus robot. Ever since you guys pointed it out from a different video, now I can't unsee it.
Robots, and of course, the Titan Legions. because nothing is cooler than
These
a
are cool
robot
too.
that towers over buildings. Ultimately, their very dogmatic view on technology as a whole has resulted in any innovation becoming absent, thus causing the Imperium to stagnate as a whole. The lack of ambition to create anything new and the wholesale murder of anyone who even tries leads to things becoming derelict. I grow weary of this flesh I was born.
Sorry, what does a derelict mean? I'm gonna look that up real quick. Derelict meaning poor condition as a result of disuse and disuse and neglect. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Oh.
Leads to things becoming derelict. I grow weary of this flesh I was born into, strangely disgusted by its nature. I crave only the cold, clean certainty of steel and silicon, that I might become
Flesh is
one
gross.
with the blessed machine. I do not expect you to understand, you who cling to your flesh as if it were immortal, seeking only to preserve it, to protect it. One day you will see the folly of your ways, and then no doubt you will come begging to my order to preserve you. After the groundwork had been set unification-wise, it was
Propaganda?
time to start getting things together for the Emperor's great crusade across the stars to bring humanity
Yeah!
under one banner.
Crusade!
The Thunder Warriors were a perfect fighting force for unifying Terra and Luna, but the galaxy was a whole different thing. You see, these warriors weren't soldiers.
I mean, guys, if you think flesh is weak, why just become a VTuber? Become a moving PNG, just like me.
But the galaxy was a whole different thing. You see, these warriors weren't soldiers in the eyes of the Emperor. They were tools, extremely blunt tools, used for the fast conquest of Terra. As the Emperor was concerned, the tools you use at home aren't the same ones you take on a road trip. So the Emperor rid himself
True.
of his tools in the exact manner you think he did, and he went forward to crafting a brand new tool. One more mobile, more efficient, and ready for his next era of conquest.
You know, he got my interest with coffee. I like coffee a lot, so I was like, oh, I like the analogy.
They shall be my finest warriors, these men who give of themselves to me. Like clay, I shall mold them, and in the furnace of
Space
war
Marine.
forge them. They will be of iron will and steely muscle. In great armor shall I clad them, and with the mightiest guns will they be armed. They will be untouched by plague or disease. No sickness will blight them. They will have tactics, strategies, and machines so that no foe can best them in
They'll be
battle.
strong.
They will be my bulwark against the terror. They are the defenders of humanity. They are my soul.
Space Marines, yeah, you it.
And they
There we
shall
go.
know no fear. The vastness of the Milky Way galaxy meant that the Emperor needed assistance bringing everyone back to the fold. And who better to do this than himself? But since the technology to be in many places at once does not exist anymore, the Emperor decided that it was time to become a dad, the same way Geppetto did, and with far less care. It is
No. He just wanted to be a father. And they shall know no fear. Yeah. Let's go.
not my son, Arkan. None of them are. They are warlords, generals, tools bred to serve a purpose, just as legions were bred to serve a purpose. What a dad. The Primarch project was started to create charismatic and unique leaders in the Imperial military. The diversity of these eventual leaders meant that each one could be specialized for certain circumstances across the galaxy. Depending on the type of conflict, one leader might be better than the other. So instead of forcing one
it's
leader
all the
to
dudes.
acclimate to a situation directly, it would be better to send a specialized leader and force to handle it in order to
Far less hair and absolutely none of the love. Why did he give them less hair? Was there a reason for that? He did not want to be a dad. He was just like, yeah, they're just like tools for war.
it would be better to send a specialized leader and force to handle it. In order to do this, the Emperor used his genetic know-how and maybe a little bit of that forbidden stuff to create these genetically perfect gene fathers that had the ability to serve as his analog directly, and also serve as the leaders of the respective Space Marine legions. All 20, all 18...
Here we go. It's the how many sons does he have discussion. Oh, I see now. Some of them canonically shaved. Oh. The worst part is that it's well hypothesized that the Emperor, while not treating any of his sons with great respect and care, he put more attention towards the ones who didn't betray him because he knew the other half would betray him. So he played favorites. Oh. I mean, wouldn't that obviously result in betrayal though? Yeah. The lack of hair was because of, brain implants? Perturbaro brain implants, letting them hook up to the tactical network. Oh, so they had to shave for it. Naruhodo. Or I guess, you'd lose hair if you have to get brain implants. I don't know if the hair grows back. I don't know how brain implants work.
Of the respective Space Marine legions. All 20, all 18, that's right, all 19 of his sons were meant to be directly molded by the Emperor himself, despite their genetic differences. And they go as follows in order.
Most of these guys have hair. I think it's only Horus that's like the super bald one. Yeah, that's how I remember Horus, because he's just very bald.
Despite their genetic
bottom
differences.
Right?
And they go as follows in order. Lionel Johnson, Fulgrim, Perturabo, Jagatai Khan, Lehman Russ, Rogel Dorn, Conrad Kurz, Sanguinius, Ferris Manus, Angron, Robute Gilliman, Mortarion, Magnus the Red, Horus Looper.
Yeah, look at my bald guy. The evil ones are bald for some reason. I guess being bald makes you evil. Maybe something to do with the brain implants. I don't know.
Call Lorgar Aurelian, Vulcan, Corvus Corax, and Alfarius and Omega.
Oh, this guy's bald too.
His sons, finalized and crafted to be the warriors he needed them to be, were complete. But he may have decided to do a bit of dabbling with things he shouldn't have, and paid a price.
Yeah, the loyalty is stored in your hair.
To go, an intervention by the gods of chaos prevented his plan from being completed as intended. Though the sources vary, the ultimate result of the Chaos God intervention was that all of the Emperor's tools were scattered throughout the galaxy at unknown places and times.
The bald heresy. That's a good comment. The Baldies all betrayed Dad, it seems. They were salty that they didn't have luscious hair like he did.
One of his sons ended up in a completely different world, and instead of being able to directly influence their upbringing, these children were instead forced to experience the unique nature of their respective homeworlds.
There's exceptions.
Some had a great time and lived in general luxury. Others, not so much. Despite his closest advisor, Malkador the Sigillite, saying, "All right, Chief, let's try this one again," the Emperor sensed each of his sons were still very much alive. And one of the primary objectives of the Great Crusade shifted to reclaiming each of his sons so they could take command of their specific Space Marine legions and carry out his will.
Vulcan is Daddy Salamander, right? I forgot. And I like the salamanders. Okay.
Original Space Marine legions that were created alongside their Primarchs go in order: the Dark Angels, Emperor's Children, Iron Warriors, White Scars, Space Wolves, Imperial Fists, Night Lords, Blood Angels, Iron Hands, World Eaters, Ultramarines, Death Guard, Thousand Sons, Luna Wolves, eventually Sons of Horus, the Word Bearers, Salamanders, Raven Guard, and the Alpha Legion. Space Marines, unlike their gene fathers, the Primarchs, are not made in a vat. There is a process to recruit more members from humanity itself.
Yeah, I think I was surprised when I learned that the Salamanders were like quote unquote good, because they look kind of like menacing, right? Like the red eyes, you know. Yeah. Yeah, I think the red eyes are super menacing, and I was like, oh, they're the good guys. Oh, interesting.
Seems a bit strange considering how massive a space marine is compared to a normal man, but don't forget, the Emperor is really good with genetics. Less good with anesthetic, however. These prospects are recruited across humanity from various reasons and methods, and are generally killed during that process. But sometimes they aren't, and they are able to go through more and more of the actual training to assess certain traits that are important and relevant to being a space marine.
Is this from a Space Marines game? I'm assuming maybe it's a cinematic from a game. Oh. Yeah, and the fact that the salamanders like have like they've got like not flamethrowers, what's the word? But like, you know, they like burn things. I don't know, it just all looks very menacing. Oh, it's from Space Marines too. Oh, it's from the trailer. Oh, it's a reveal trailer. Okay. Yeah, flammers. Yeah.
The time, the common factor is a pure unrelenting willingness to kill the enemies of the Imperium. After going through psychological screening, the prospect, now called a neophyte, goes under the knife to become a space marine. And here is a quick list of all the cool new stuff they get genuinely shoved into their bodies. A secondary heart, an organ that makes your bones grow, an organ that makes your muscles big,
some
an
DLC.
implant that makes your blood stronger, a little organ that turns your white blood cells into super white blood cells, a brain implant that allows you to sleep while being awake, a pre-stomach that allows you to digest literally anything, a spinal implant that allows you to absorb the genetic memories of what you eat, bigger and better lungs that can let you breathe underwater, an implant that gives you stronger eyes, new ears that keep you from being dizzy, a brain implant that lets you go into suspended animation if you're in a bad shape, skin that acts like transition glasses, I almost got it in one take, a brand new kidney, the ability to taste the air and find enemies like a bloodhound, a special coating on your skin that allows you to be protected in space, the ability to spit acid, a gland that allows you to absorb the unique genetic makeup from the gene seed in the first place, and a straight up carapace that allows the space marine to interface with their power armor directly. Quite often, these are put inside of you at dubious levels of mental alertness and dubious levels of anesthetic. After a more generalized indoctrination into the faith of the Imperium and a bit more training and other important manners, they can finally be welcomed as a fully fledged space marine.
Wait, yeah, I almost missed the part that they're not born with that. It's like surgically put into them. Yeah, there's a reason most people don't survive the process of becoming a space marine. That's crazy. Yeah, like for a second I was like, oh, they're just born into it. But no. Oh, child soldiers. Oh, boy. Oh. You gotta be built different for it. Just like Spartans. Surgically implanted and then allowed to grow, hence why children are required to make space marines. Oh. Wow. That's dark. Oh. Thank you for the follow. Arigato. Starts around age 12? The death rate must be high in kids. Yeah, this is 40k after all. Let me drink some water real quick. Naki, thank you so much for the raid. Hello, Naki. Wow, hello, raiders. Did you have a good stream? Otsunaki, thanks for the raid. Hello, welcome in, everyone. Hello, Kami Riders. Oh. I love Naki. She's the cutest. Be sure to go check her out and sub to her channel. But yeah, if you guys don't know me, I'm Emuri. I'm the Calavi housewife from Glitchhard Streamers. Nice to meet you. Today we're watching Bricky's latest video on Warhammer 40k. Factions Explained. I'm sort of in my Warhammer arc right now where I'm trying to kind of get into it. So I'm learning a lot of the lore. Yeah, so sit back and relax and learn some, learn how freaky the Warhammer universe is with us.
Space Marine is quite literally a walking tank that is armed to the teeth. Two of the more iconic
He's
weapons
talking about
held
the
by
Space
a Space
Marines
Marine
right
are
now.
their bolt gun, which fires explosive shells the size of soda cans, and a chain sword, which is... The Space Marine is clad in a colorful carapace known as power armor, crafted from extremely heavy and durable ceramite. The power armor of a Space Marine protects him from any terrors he may face, be it the void of space itself to an inhospitable atmosphere. This armor, combined almost biologically with an already massive physique, makes the Space Marine an almost unstoppable fighting force. And hell, if the armor doesn't protect them enough, they can always become a walking coffin like the dreadnoughts of the chapters are.
What? What do you mean a walking coffin? Where did the body go? Or I guess is the body dead? Is that what's going on? And the machine's just doing stuff on its own? Oh. You're going into the forever box. Huh? It's a mortally wounded Marine. Oh, 90% dead, barely alive. Oh my gosh. The body's in the cockpit. That box in the center holds him. What? And he's piloting the thing? It's a war wheelchair. Oh my gosh. I see. Like, even if you're wounded, you still have to fight. Yeah. That's how it goes. Yeah, only in death does duty end. Speaking of death, I was gonna ask, what is their average lifespan? Like, how long do they live if they don't, get wounded and killed in battle, What's their age, usually? How long do they live? Hundreds of years. Oh. They don't die a while. Oh. They can live to 1,000 plus. Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, they better live long, I guess. After all those implants. Theoretically forever. Sheesh. Oh. Space Marines live for centuries. Humans are lucky to live to 30. Space Marines truly built different.
What truly adds to it all, however, is the sheer difference in some of them. While a Space Marine in its own right is an indoctrinated freight train on legs, how they act can be quite different from chapter to chapter. The gene seed of a Primarch is not just helping them become big and strong, but allows them to gain certain traits from their forefathers. Everything from how they think to even slightly adjusting their physical appearance once it's been implanted, the gene seed can be the personality of an entire Space Marine. Take the Salamanders, for example. Salamanders have a predisposition.
That was such a cute image. Oh, but yeah, I guess the hard part is surviving that long. True.
Of an entire Space Marine. Take the Salamanders, for example. Salamanders have a predisposition to fire as a whole, and tend to be extremely large due to the size of their Primarch, Vulcan, and his enormous stature. Whereas someone like Sanguinius, Primarch of the Blood Angels, share more vampiric features and more angel-like qualities.
Sanguinius is so, pretty boy. He literally looks like an Ikemen from, a Otome game. Look at him. Sanguinius, my beloved. Yeah. Sanguinius is the best. He is the Bishonen out of all the sons, I think. Oh, his wings are actually biological. Cool. The mutations, not implants? Whoa! How did he just grow them? Yeah. He is canonically the most handsome one, I can tell.
A gene seed is not just aspects of the Primarchs, but they are also flaws too. Magnus the Red and his 1,000 Sons underwent something known as the Flesh Change, a horrifying mutation that, while it made them strong psychers, would affect their bodies so terribly that they would mutate away from humanity. Where other factions have inspiration for their culture from our real world, like the feudal Japanese of the Eldar or Egyptian style the Necrons, each Space Marine chapter themselves.
Obama? Why? Am I missing something here? Why is Obama on the pyramid? Obama prison. Don't laugh. All but 1,000 died twice? What? How? Actually, kind of see it. Sorry, it just came out of nowhere.
Japanese of the Eldar or Egyptian style the Necrons, each Space Marine chapter themselves carry an inspiration. The White Scars are motorcycle riding Mongolian fighters. These Space Wolves are Norse Vikings. The Dark Angels are Knights of the Round Table, and so on. This moves into their fighting style, and truthfully, there is no end to the characters and options when it comes to the Space Marines. Space Marines are the main symbol you see, and while many of them can be simply indoctrinated warriors who only care about conflict and can be quite boring, then you meet Dante, or Bjorn, or Argel Tal, or Karn, or Lucius, or Erebus. And then you discover the wealth of these characters and tools of war you can have. For 1,100 years, I have fought and I have seen the darkness in our galaxy. I
didn't know there was a Dante in Warhammer. When I hear Dante, I think like Devil May Cry.
100 years, I have fought and I have seen the darkness in our galaxy. I have seen the vileness of the alien and the heresy of the mutant. I have witnessed the sin of possession, and I have seen all the evil that the galaxy harbors, and I have slain all whose presence defiles the Emperor. I have seen what you will see. I have fought what you must fight, and I have slain what you must slay. So fear not and be proud, for we are the sons of Sanguinius, the protectors of mankind. We are indeed the Angels of Death.
Angels of
Despite
Death is
being
such
the
a cool
poster
name.
children for Warhammer 40k as a whole, the presence of a Space Marine is a rare sight for the countless trillions of humans across the galaxy. Seeing one of these monstrosities is like seeing something akin to an angel sent by the Emperor himself. These Angels of Death are the essential fighting force to bring humanity back under the unified banner of the Imperium. Yet ultimately, the Space Marines are individuals torn from their families and conscripted to genetic modification and lifelong service for the dying Imperium. And though they are held in an almost holy light,
but everything's
most
sad
believe
here.
they are above and beyond the people they are designed to serve. Once designed as the protectors of humanity, they seldom view humanity as something worth saving. To the extent that it is a tiny, minute rarity, though not unheard of, for a Space Marine to put a normal citizen above them in any way. For most Space Marines and even their Primarchs, they are only here to do a job. They are there to kill the enemies of humanity, and I would be remiss if I didn't add at least one more of my favorite quotes to the tail end of this section. "The time for speeches is done," said Rogel Dorn. "The first great test is here. My order to you all is simple, yet heed it well, and exert yourselves to see it done. They are coming. Kill them all." While the Space Marines
Kill them all.
spearhead of the Imperium's Great Crusade and also a major player in its warfare, there is a significant amount of importance that must be taken on their transport. What sci-fi universe would be complete without its navy? When you think of the navy or ships on the open sea, you think of something that is sleek, something mobile, and something pretty big. For perspective, the longest self-propelled ship in history was the TTC-Wise Giant, an oil tanker that was about 458 meters long or over about 1,500 feet. This right here is child's play in the world of 4K ships. A ship
4K ships are like humongous. Everything is on large scale in 40K. Yeah. Space Marines of a certain age are more akin to characters in a Greek epic or a Chinese classic than a normal person. The inevitable cycle of yay, Space Marines were saved into... Wait, it's bad enough they're Space Marines. Yeah, Space Marines do have their own fleets, but they're a fraction of the size of Imperial battle fleets. Yeah, everything 40k takes, things to the extreme. Yeah, Warhammer does not understand scale. Big numbers are used no matter how stupid they actually are. Yeah, eventually it's just like, big number go burr. Like, I don't know what the big number means, but, is a big number.
Considered to be an escort vessel in the Imperium is about 3 times the size of a sea-wise giant, and the size of the ships only go up from there. Your most common ships are the cruisers. The light cruiser tends to average at about 2 kilometers long, or just over a mile in length, where the Dictator class cruisers can be over 3 kilometers or 2 miles in length. The largest ships are your battleships, and they are tremendous. We're talking 5-mile long, half a mile high monstrosities that look like gigantic Gothic cathedrals and filled to the brim with weaponry. And not only are they filled with weapons, but they are also jam-packed with crewmen. Battleships tend to, on average, carry a crew between several thousand to several million, and they need every single one of those members because we don't have advanced technology for other things to pilot themselves or control themselves in a meaningful way because there's no AI. A lot of this stuff has to be done manually.
Wow.
Even the reloading of those giant batteries is a form of manual labor. And of course, generally speaking, gliding through the stars is a very slow way to do things. And let's be honest, there can't be a science fiction setting without some form of hyperspace travel. This form of travel in 40k is less like going to Plaid in Spaceballs and more like going into Davy Jones' zipper dimension in SpongeBob.
Oh, now what? I suppose you're gonna show me. Oh, very nice. Oh, what is this? Some kind of magic act?
Bye! Poor Squidward. Oh, how horrific. Me going into the Warhammer 40k
This is because
rabbit
it
hole.
utilizes the immaterial warp to do so. Warp travel is handled by a navigator, which is an abhuman. It's a mutated human, don't worry about it. And they have a gene that gives them a third eye and the ability to help steer the ship through the warp, which, as we know, is hell itself and unreality. Now, this might sound exceptionally dangerous, and that's because it is. Now, the ship does have protection in the form of a Geller field, though. Originally, I assumed the Geller field is what you think it is, a large force field stopping all manner of horrible things, like demons from the warp tearing apart your ship. How wrong I was, though. So space travel through the warp basically involves riding on the Sea of Souls. Hell is real and you can surf on it. So you allow the current to carry you and the navigator to direct. But how can a current of souls and unreality carry you when it doesn't obey the laws of physics, time, or, again, reality? What a Geller field is not a force field, but a comatose Imperial Psyker dreaming of reality. It is not a bubble. It is a force of reality being projected by mutant Sleeping Beauty to counteract the unreality of the warp that you can then surf on. This, of course, is not a foolproof method of travel, and Geller fields can and do collapse fairly regularly. Being subjected to the warp itself without this Geller field is a terrifying prospect. In the best case scenario, your ship will be torn to shreds. But there are countless instances of ships being thrown out of the warp randomly throughout time itself.
That sounds like a miss.
You leave for a 2-day mission, and you come back 90 years in the past.
What? Wait, what? I need to rehear that.
You leave for a 2-day mission and you come back 90 years in the past. Maybe you feel like you're lost in the warp for a century and it's only been 45 minutes. And that is only if the waves of souls don't rip your ship apart or have demons arrive on it to do unspeakable things to the crew. The Imperial Navy is an astronomically powerful force for the Imperium because the sheer volume of ships and guns on those ships create firepower that can sunder planets. This is all juxtaposed with the sheer backwater nature of these ships.
Yeah, I guess, it's better to arrive late than early if ships have arrived before they left. Yeah, time is so screwed up in the warp. You can show up hundreds or thousands of years before or after your departure. And you can't calculate this ahead of time. It's just kind of like rolling the gacha. Is that what it is? It's like, yeah, maybe I'll arrive in the future. Maybe I'll arrive in the past. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. We're gonna, whatever happens, happens. Oh, a good navigator makes it less variable. Okay, I see. So it can be controlled a little bit, but it's still very difficult. That's why everyone has to live forever in Warhammer. Yeah. I see. You can reduce the risk, but risk never becomes zero. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, and that's part of why some invasions and defenses of planets fail. Your reinforcements can arrive generations late / too early. Yeah, I guess, that would really mess up a plan. You get lost when you don't have enough plot armor.
While they are manned by crews of zealots, they are also operated with such a backwater tech, it completely confuses the reader. You see the long batteries of portside cannons that the ship has, and remember that AI is heresy in this world, and that all the mechanics are utilized by lobotomized slaves. So how do they load these? Well, they have gun gangs, massive gangs of hundreds of people manually loading these cannons.
So many slaves.
These are genuine gun loader gangs that get into gang wars and squabbles. On the ship's bridge, you may find the captain himself hardwired directly into the ship's chair permanently to control it the best they can. Giant screens of hololith data fill the room, and sensors across the ship are just as likely to tell you information as a serf running up to you with a scroll of parchment is. You reach to a microphone to shout orders down a hallway as paper readouts tell you information of the enemy, and holy sigils and candlelit incense burners gleam your next move. While the
I didn't mean to pause on that, but it kind of like scared me because just as I paused, it went like boom. Imperial Navy. Yeah, the Imperium is literally powered by lobotomized slaves. Yeah. Even as a human, you may find yourself a part of the ship. They're like living megacities with tons of people and different cultures in them. Gangs of workers are cheaper than automated loaders. Yeah, that's such a crazy universe where like humans using just like people, right, for labor is actually cheaper than like, using like a machine or, other processes, using resources. Yeah, I guess like humans are still a resource, but yeah. Yeah, imagine being born and growing old and die in the starship, never stepping off. Just people here, they just don't even, they don't like have, there's no individuality, you know what I mean? Yeah, just they're born with a purpose and they just have to serve that purpose, which is crazy. How the Navy recruits is messed up too. When they need to replenish losses, they show up on planets and work with local government to kidnap citizens and draft them into service for life. Oh God. Here we go, Navy time. Yeah, but it's a resource Imperium has a lot. Yeah. Everything's smarter than the calculator is outlawed. Alright guys, I actually have to run real quick to the bathroom. I am so sorry, but I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna switch to the BRB screen for like 5 minutes. I need to run to the bathroom, stretch, and then I'll come back and we'll finish the rest of the video. Yeah. Okay, yeah, don't leave just yet. We'll finish it once I'm back. BRB. Sorry that took longer than expected. I decided to eat the rest of my pad thai noodles. Thank you for waiting. I am back. You guys like the violin? Thank you. Yeah, I play the violin. Just some music, you know, for you guys to listen to while I'm gone. Tadaima, tadaima. We're so back. Let's finish the rest of this video. It's been long, but this video has been super fun. Like, I really like what he did with this. And I think it's, like, easier to follow as well. Oh, okay. Gotcha, Archer. Got it. Okay. Thanks for letting me know. いってらっしゃい。Yeah, movie long lore video part 1. Yeah, this is only part 1. Watching videos with Moody is so fun. Oh, thank you. I like watching the video with you guys too. I love how like enthusiastic you guys all are about Warhammer. Yeah, thank you. All right, let's continue. I'm gonna rewind like, let's see, like 5 seconds. Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
Holy sigils and candlelit incense burners gleam your next move. While the
Boom.
is not a specific faction of the Imperium in the same sense and format of this video, it is what shepherds around the entirety of its armed forces. Every Space Marine Primarch had a flagship, and every strike cruiser and battle barge has a story to tell. But if there is a single thing that the Shield of the Navy does the best, it is to help support and supply the monumental forces of the Imperium. The hammer of the Emperor himself, the uncountable men and women of the
Imperial Guard!
I don't care if these things have adapted to resist our las guns. If we can't kill them with our rifles,
yeah, title card jump scare.
Heavy bolters. And if we can't kill them with heavy weapons, we'll use grenades. And if grenades don't work, then we'll fight them with our swords and our knives and our bare hands.
Yeah.
We'll drown them in our blood. That's what it means to be a soldier of the Imperial Guard. Now follow me.
Charge!
There is no better symbol of the might of the Imperium itself than the Astra Militarum, or as it is commonly known, the Imperial Guard. Though the Space Marines take the glory and stand as the visual representation of the Imperium, their numbers are dramatically thin and specialized in comparison. To reclaim 1,000,000 worlds, you need a
just the
countless
army.
number of troops willing to fight and die for your cause. The Imperial Guard represents the Imperial truth made manifest. Every year, the worlds of the Imperium pay a tithe in the form of soldiers to fight the good fight of the Emperor, and this number is impossible to pin down. Even saying billions would be a dramatic understatement. The sheer volume of soldiers serves as the fundamental backbone of the Imperium. 99.9% of battles fought by the Imperium are fought by the sundering might of the Imperial Guard. With the knowledge that the Space Marines are—
I like how, I guess like design-wise, they look very like normal compared to like everyone else, right? Because they just look like they look like a military. Like they've got the green, and like tan beige color scheme. Yeah. And then there's Adeptus Mechanicus in the background, I think. They look very normal compared to them. Oh, the Acadians? Oh, okay. Yeah, normies versus everything. Normies. Oh.
Sundering might of the Imperial Guard. With the knowledge that the Space Marines are essentially sentient tanks, what do the members of the Imperial Guard have? If they're the might of the Emperor himself, are they not suited up in a similar way? No, not really. No fancy suits.
Ah, yes, the normal human faction with a 90% fatality rate on the first deployment. I mean, all that matters in Warhammer is that they've got a lot of numbers here, right?
Not suited up in a similar way? No, Not really. No fancy suits, no biological enhancements, and basically no expectation to live. Once a regiment of guard are activated, they are sent directly into battle with almost no expectations that they will survive.
Yeah.
This is because, despite their training, their incredibly powerful armor, and extremely strong weapons that would crush any army of the modern day, they are so hopelessly outmatched to the things they will face. Sending a member of the guard is throwing a rock at a nuclear bomb. However, where they lack in advancement, they make up for in sheer numbers, and their overwhelming force can be the difference maker in any deployment they face.
But
Quantity
Tyranids, though,
is a quality all its own. If they do happen to survive, they will be sent to the next battle, and so on. Seldom do members of the Astra Militarum get old or retire, and those that do are truly to be feared. There's an old saying that the average lifespan of a guardsman is about 15 hours from deployment, and considering the sheer number of guardsmen out there in any given battle, that number is probably accurate. When several million of your pool of guardsmen die within the first few hours of combat because
just a normal
the orcs threw a moon at you, it can really screw the numbers. The soldiers of the guard are conscripted and trained on an incredible number of worlds in the Imperial, and these worlds can impact their training and their combat style directly. The most famous visually are the
Man, I feel bad for these guys.
Cadian shock troops. But other notable guard factions include the gas mask-clad Death Corps of Krieg, the Rambo level of Catachan jungle fighters, and the iron-willed Mordian Iron Guard. This also helps them specialize against individual types of enemies. The Indigan Prefects are a special guard regiment that came from a planet whose planetary governor, the leader of the planet, thought it was fun to collect exotic animals, which then crossbreed and then became the giant freight train-sized monsters destroying the planet. So the Indigan Prefects are specialized for big monsters.
The furries?
Hello, Tyranids.
Oh, Jesus,
One
never mind.
particularly interesting officer in the Guard is the
does not look like
officer known as the Commissar, and they are one of the more visually striking members of a regiment. These are specialized Imperial officers and act as morale officers. But instead of singing songs to the troops and providing hot meals, the Commissars are there to make sure that the members of the regiment continue to fight to the bitter end.
To the death.
If a soldier does not meet the standards of the Commissar, the solution is simple. There are trillions of other soldiers out there. We don't really need you. Combat fatigue? Headshot. Concerns about the conflict? Headshot. Fleeing the battlefield? You bet that's a headshot. Considering that these officers tend to be outside of their regiment, feelings on them can be mixed. And in fairness, certain commissars, like the esteemed Ibram Gaunt or Caiaphas Cain, tend to do a bit better with the whole people talking part. Because if, say, you were trying to tell a beefed up Catachan jungle fighter what to do, you might take a mysterious leave of absence inside a carnivorous plant. But no matter what.
Wait, where are the cat girls? Yeah, what are they called again? Where are the cat girls? Cat girls keep getting mentioned. Or cat ears.
What I say, I don't think I can truly convey the sheer might of the Imperial Guard, so I'm gonna get a visual aid. Let's take a look at this image right here, right? This is the cover of the 9th edition Codex for the Astra Militarum, the official cover art. Your eyes may be drawn to the dark and brutal looks of some of the main members on the front and the gigantic orc they are attacking. But
I couldn't see because of the lighting. Yeah, that is an orc. They all kind of just look green. Felinids or Felinids, however it's pronounced. Yeah. Let me look them up. I forgot to look it up earlier. Oh my gosh. What's the official art for this? I'm seeing like many pictures. Oh. Okay, yeah, they are cat people, that's for sure. Is there official art? Oh, yeah, there might not be. Cause all of this looks like fan art. Kind of reminds me of Gwyn from Gwyn Saga, if you guys have seen that. Yeah, barely any lore. Oh, they're just barely official at this point. Cat girls are just fanfic. They're covered fully in fur. Gotcha. Naruhodo. They're straight up like animals, but they're like, you know, well, what's the word? Kind of like walk and like do stuff like, you know, people would. Forgot what the term was. Make them human enough and boom, there you go. Oops, wait, I was trying to go back in the video. There you go.
Looks of some of the main members on the front and the gigantic orc they are attacking. But zoom out a little bit. There is no floor.
Oh?
There is only people.
Yeah, that's true.
And behind those people are tanks. And behind those tanks are flying artillery shells. There are 2 enormous transport
This art
ships
is
in
so
the sky,
cool.
and their ramps are down, and on their ramps are more people. The Imperium is described as having 1,000,000 worlds. 1,000,000 worlds. And each one of them gives soldiers to the Imperial Guard for the tithe. On a given battlefield,
These
in
numbers-
a given
he says 1,000,000 and I'm just like, these numbers are just numbers at this point. They're just big numbers. Yeah, anthropomorphic. That's the word. Thank you so much. I am so bad at English.
soldiers to the Imperial Guard for the tithe. On a given battlefield, in a given
number goes
fight,
big.
foot soldiers number in the millions,
Yep,
tanks in the tens of thousands, and you have enough artillery to turn the night sky day. You have walkers and APCs and aircraft and horse cavalry and tanks the size of apartment buildings.
This is old
You
art,
have
right?
Drop troops and spec ops
I
and
think.
rattling snipers and gigantic ogres that can't count to 4, but they can turn you into 4 pieces, and it just doesn't end. Humanity is a horde army, but instead of a horde of bugs or
Oh my gosh,
rampaging
whoa.
orcs, it's a living wall of guns. At the end of the day, though he's been ferried through hell on a ship that's 10,000 years old to some god-forsaken war-torn rock, though he deployed from high orbit with
Wolverines.
nothing but a grav chute, though he is one of 10 million men and women snatched from his homeworld to fight a war he barely understands, though he has been given a weapon that fires small suns and may annihilate him as he fires because the knowledge of how it functions has
Small
been lost,
sun.
though his company is supported by tractor tanks that run on anything you can burn, though he wages war against the devouring hive mind,
This is
ravenous
hell.
demons and hordes of hyper-advanced aliens with strange technologies and sorceries he never dreamed existed. No one will remember his sacrifice. There will be no records of his deeds, no glorious parades in his honor, and no remembrance of his name. All he will earn is a shallow, unmarked grave on a forgotten world untold light years from home. Yet for all
So grim. Yeah, just like zero individuality, right?
all this thankless sacrifice, a guardsman is a man, just like you. He has no millennia-old genetic engineering, no prophetic leader, no miracles of
guy.
faith. He has his lasgun, his orders, and those beside him. He is the Imperial Guard, and he will hold the line. In the end, the Astra Militarum, despite fighting for the honor of the Imperium, are their own form of a massive horde army where individuality does not matter. They are merely numbers to the Imperium, and the vast majority of the conflicts they are sent to are attrition-based
go
battles
Burr.
that gain virtually no ground while countless millions die. Yet this makes them the most human. For the Imperial Guard contains normal people, people who are happy and sad, people who laugh and love, and in there are stories, because there is strength in facing the horrors of the universe head on with nothing but a rifle in your hands and a prayer on your lips.
I can see why they get a lot of plot armor, yeah. And why people would like them, yeah.
Armed with an innumerable amount of Imperial soldiers and Space Marines, the Navy begins its great crusade into the stars to rescue the stranded Primarchs and reunite them to their legions. But the biggest question needed to be asked was, what would they find? The age of strife lasted for thousands of years. If a civilization was still alive out there in the galaxy, what would they be like? The technological advancements of humanity prior to and during the Dark Age technology was unfathomable. It allowed them to spread through the galaxy with ease and allowed them to settle once inhospitable planets. These branches of humanity were provided with the vast knowledge of human creations and were given gigantic machines to make arduous labor and ease. The spreading of these massive colony ships was known as the Long March, and these ships would be retrofitted into settlements upon arrival to their new homes. Accompanying them were the gigantic pieces of farm equipment that served multiple purposes and the specialized pilots that could maintain them. They were not only able to tend the fields and do labor, but when interstellar communication was cut off, they also did a great job at protecting the colonists against both threats demonic and alien. Because of the significance of these machines, those that could pilot them were powerful enough to be considered leaders, and the upkeep and preservation of the machines and the lineage of those who could pilot them was imperative. These machines...
Yeah, it's all about the indomitable human spirit against aliens. Yeah, humans for the win, etc. Yeah. That's like sort of like the theme that was going on. Yeah, farm equipment, tractors. Oh, tractors are cringe. It's all about walking aisle, boys. I can't believe Warhammer beat feet. What has this community come to? We know what the people want, Woomy. Let's freaking go, Warhammer. Nerd hobby is more important than feet, man. That's what I'm saying. It has been proven.
Over the thousands of years would eventually be known as the
Imperial Knights. Okay, never mind. I thought he was getting.
He must be humble.
I thought he was getting into dwarves, but I think that's at the very end of the video. Not the Imperial Knights. I like these guys too. The kids look really nice.
He must be humble of heart, strong of arm, be savage in war, loyal to hearth, and follow deeds of glory. He must keep honor with all, banish cowardice from his doings, and bring his house no shame. He must serve the emperor and defend the Imperium. Thus should a knight rule himself. The age of strife caused these colonized worlds to be cut off from the Imperium, and the reversion of these worlds resulted in the reverence for this farm equipment turned feudal, and the leadership that controlled the devices became viewed as a noble hierarchy. During the age of strife, exploratory fleets from Mars found plenty of these worlds, and it seemed the majority of them reverted to a similar state. Like King Arthur seeing Merlin himself, these feudal worlds welcomed the tech priests of Mars with open arms. The mutual relationship between the Admech and the nobility was beneficial. The Admech were able to secure more worlds for mining resources and potentially long-lost STC information, and the noble houses were provided with technological know-how and modifications from the Admech themselves. The suits became more and more specialized, and their history as mere pieces of equipment were lost to time. What was once a tractor became a killdozer, and the Imperial Knights were born. Unlike other military aspects in the Imperium, the nobility...
I can't believe they evolved from farm equipment. Kind of like that. Yeah, the killdozers. Killdozers, my beloved.
And the Imperial Knights were born. Unlike other military aspects in the Imperium, the nobility of the Knight houses remains just that, a nobility-focused feudal hierarchy that swears fealty to either the Mechanicum or to Terra. Like the Knights in our history, once they swear fealty, they can be called to aid their respective allegiance in the heat of battle. The ones that swear fealty to Terra are led by the High Monarch, while the ones with the Mechanicum are led by the Princess.
Mechs.
The ones with Terra might be sent directly to the front line of war, while the ones with the Mechanicum tend to be sent to protect the Forge world. And the heraldry of these houses is what you'd expect from a generic history of knights. Houses pledging allegiances here and there, your run-of-the-mill War of the Roses aesthetic. Except instead of ponies, you have gigantic death machines. These knights...
Gigantic death machines are cooler than ponies. Lamborghini produced tractors before he started making sports cars. Oh my gosh, it all makes sense. It's the same evolution process. And eventually those sports cars will become big killing death machines. Just give it, give it some time. Let it cook. Until we get to the 40K universe.
Can't simply be piloted by any old person, however. A member of the nobility of any given knight house must go through the ritual of becoming. This ritual involves them sitting on the device used to control the knight, known as the Throne Mechanicum, for a full night.
It is a mech.
What's wrong with that? I mean, sitting in a chair for a full evening sounds pretty great right about now.
Yeah.
So a pilot cannot drive a knight. They can, but it moves about as effective as Ripley from Aliens 2, big, lifter thing.
Okay.
It is, in a sense, a beast that must be controlled, and a pilot must merge with it. The mind...
So it kind of just does whatever sort of thing. It's kind of different from a Gundam. Like it's not like you're not really piloting it. It's just like it needs a person in there to sort of like guide it, maybe. Yeah. Oh, basically Evangelion. Yeah. なるほど. Get in the robot, Shinji.
Of the noble is
Pacific
connected
Rim?
to the machine and must fight with the mental signatures and personalities
Yeah, Iron-Blooded
of
Orphan.
the prior pilots as well. Everything a knight experiences in battle is felt by the pilot themselves, be it the general movement in the battlefield or damage sustained by the machine itself. If a knight's leg is blown off in battle, the pilot could experience a broken bone in the same
they let
spot.
stubborn
The merging to the
horses.
machine forever changes the mentality of the noble that experiences it. This connection reinforces
Get in the Imperial Knights, Shinji.
versus a strong degree of nobility and honor in the pilot, and a desire
God, not
to
the
fight
gaming
for the
chair.
glory of their house until the bitter end, as their ancestors' minds are linked directly to the knight. The size of these knights can vary, but generally speaking, they stand in the ballpark of 30 to 50 feet tall and are protected by
Big
a
boys.
thick adamantium armor. Beyond that, they have their own unique ion shield generators that give them added protection, and when it comes to their looks, the most common pattern across the Imperium is the Questoris pattern, and is honestly the one you're probably thinking about right now. But there are
I love the looks of these things because like when I was looking at the kits, like they'd get like different patterns on like their shoulders and stuff like that, and I was like, oh, that's really nice.
also smaller versions like armatures and bigger ones known as the dominus. As for a loadout, these guys are essentially a violent Mr. Potato Head. Battle cannons, Gatling cannons, heavy flamers, thermal cannons. Up close and personal, how about a gigantic chainsword or a straight up gauntlet? And for that empty spot up top, screw it. More autocannons, maybe add some missiles. Whatever you can do
All
to
the
make it as
weaponry.
over the top as possible, you gotta do it. A squire serves a knight serves a lord serves a baron, and a baron serves a monarch. So who does the monarch serve? He serves every subject, from the rudest serf to the members of the court.
Yeah, more
Chivalric
Daka.
fealty, when ideally practiced, is not a pyramid, but a circle. Ironically, on the surface, night worlds themselves are one of the least grim, dark settings in the galaxy. Reverting to an ancient time with knights and peasants is almost an escapism from the techno hell of the modern
map is
Imperium.
cool.
But this, of course, doesn't make it great for everyone. It sounds fun on paper to play a game of knights, but it's not so fun when you're the peasant of that world. For the knights themselves, the knights give their entire lives to the Throne Mechanicum, and their reality is not their own, as they have to hear the voices of thousands of generations of their ancestors controlling their actions and their lives for as long as they live. It's a strange dichotomy. When it comes to Warhammer, most to all jobs tend to be terrible. However, if there was one that could be considered enjoyable, it would be the pilot of a knight, or a princeps of their larger cousins. While it does contain an egregious amount of hardship to be a knight pilot, you do enjoy a wealth of privilege. A knight pilot is often an asshole who can back it up. The rich noble that, despite his braggadocious behavior, is still very much him, and he will continue to be him. But
Yeah, they kind of let the robot, you know, or the machine do like the dirty work, right? Yeah, they just need to sit in the chair. Oh.
knights are not the only thing that the Imperium found lost in the stars during their Great Crusade. Due to the circumstances of the Age of Strife, humans were changing and adapting to their new homes they were now isolated on. Some of these humans evolved over thousands of years to adapt to these areas, and they were known as abhumans. Many abhumans found their way into the Imperial Guard or other lesser positions in the Imperium if they were not wiped out immediately for being too different from their human counterparts. But their abilities and appearance vary from planet to planet, and one particular group of abhumans have made quite a name for themselves in the center of the galaxy.
Yay! We made
The
it!
origins of what will be known as the kin start at some point
Space
during the
Force,
Dark Age
baby!
technology,
Little
where their
man!
ancestors left a
Rocket
planet that is very
Stone!
much Terra and went to the galactic core to mine it of its resources. They brought along with them
Yay!
everything that they would need for a long-term stay, most important of which were the incredible AI-based supercomputers.
I've been waiting
be
for
it
this.
Guidance, Technical or
waiting
philosophical,
for this moment.
schematics, or the ability to upload the memories of a deceased explorer to gather information from them, these computers became an essential part of their everyday life, especially considering that the galactic core is one of the most inhospitable places in the galaxy. It is an exceptionally star-dense location, full of abnormalities, black holes, and sentient hostile nebula. Whatever that last part means, it is not a safe and easy place to make a
It's the art I used on my thumbnail. Yeah. I'm a dwarf and I'm digging a hole. You're rocking stone to the bone. Let's go. Best for last?
style nebula. Whatever that last part means, it is not a safe and easy place to make a living, and this only got worse thanks to the warp storms during the Age of Strife.
Oh,
in
10th
order
edition
to adapt
Codex
to this
art.
area, these travelers perfected a genetic makeup that made their future clones to be more adept to the area. These future clones would be shorter and more robust than their ancestors, and the need to procreate would be unnecessary because why risk messing up a good employee when you can just make a new one? These would be known as the squats, and they would all die, except for when they didn't.
No!
And now they are known by a different name.
Oh, okay.
Most void-faring races have at least
Oh, I was wondering why they have so many names. Okay, so they start out as the squats? Yeah.
and now they are known by a different name. Most void-faring races have at least one cautionary tale of foolish explorers vanishing amidst its blazing stellar nurseries and strange anomalies. Yet for the leagues of Votann, the galactic core has been home now for millennia. These squat humanoids would begin to establish themselves in the core, and their goals would be the same as their ancestors. Rock and stone! But like, actually kinda, yeah. Whenever one of them would die, they would know that that sucker would need to be uploaded to the machines like their forefathers did. But the original purpose of these machines was lost to time. What was once a technical resource for them turned into a ritual known as joining the ancestors. And the fact that they were clones at this point meant that the same copy of the same individual would be uploaded countlessly. The sheer overuse of these computers and the repeated uploading of redundant data has turned these once powerful supercomputers into your parents' computer after you install LimeWire on it, and whose 50 Google Chrome tabs definitely contain information they will return to one day. So much corruption that these computers began to develop the makings of a personality of their own. These would be known as the Votann, and the kin, this dwarf-like abhuman of humanity, would revere them. The Votann still operate to this day, but the volume of corruption have made anything outside of their very basic functions highly unpredictable. They may not answer a question for centuries at a time, and if they do provide an answer or data, it has become so corrupted and so incongruent that it takes a literal kin wizard to comprehend it. The kin—
I just love their aesthetic. They're just like little men in like spacesuits, and I don't know, they look kind of cute.
much like the dwarves of fantasy, exist nowadays as a mercantile species that constantly work to mine and manufacture. However, their capitalistic desires are dangerous. The biggest crimes a kin can face are being lazy, unproductive, and breaking a contract. Stellar conflicts have broken out over hundreds of years due to the breaking of a deal. So if you signed a contract with a kin, you best stick to it. Because of this, the kin have been known to interact with other species in a fairly common manner. This includes humanity, who have met various members of the kin multiple times, but constantly considered them to be all a different species. Famously, the Imperium noted that the kin they referred to as the squats were their own species and were wiped out by the Tyranids. Little did they know, they were still around. The kin—
the Tyranids got him. Rip.
are acutely aware of two things. The first is that the humans of the Imperium are deeply terrified of technology, so the sheer existence of the Votann is a secret as well as the truth. This extends also to the Iron Kin, sentient robots that are treated in the same esteem of flesh and blood kin, because kin is kin. The second thing they are aware of is where they're from. They are fairly confident that they are from Terra, and they know that if this secret was to be known by the Imperium, that the Imperium might want to take ownership of them and everything they've built. So the more alien they are, the better. Now, this sounds fine and good, right? What could possibly be wrong with these guys besides the the hyper late stage space capitalism? Well, we have to go back to their creation. The kin are an entirely clone-based race made from the computers that are exceptionally difficult to recreate. These machines, the Votann, are becoming more and more unpredictable and derelict. If anything were to happen to these machines, it would be a twofold ending of the kin. New kin cannot be reproduced, reducing their numbers, and the existing kin would have no further purpose because the end that awaits them would be non-existent. The horror of the
Wait, so what is this about? April Fools? What? It was a fake out April Fool's joke, but next day it was like, no, but really? The trailer releasing on April 1st was apparently an oversight. They weren't intended to seem like a joke at first. So it was just like, oh, they accidentally released it on April Fools, like April 1st. But it was like, it wasn't like meant to be perceived as a joke. Okay. Wait, what year were they released? Yeah. The trailer announcing them released on April Fool's Day, so no one believed it. That's so sad. Oh no. Oh, 2018? Okay, so that was quite a while ago. Oh. 2018? No way. That's like 7 years ago. No, like 2 years ago? Okay, yeah. 20. And this is where you guys go like, wait, 2018 was 7 years ago? No. No way. I thought 2018 was yesterday. Okay, 2023, I think. Yeah. They're the latest faction. Yeah, because I was like, if they were released in 2018, they would have been in the older video. Yeah. They used to ban people who even mentioned squats for decades? Why? Heresy? Oh, they're heresy with AI and cloning. Oh. Heresy! Heretic! You heretic! How dare you mention the squats? Well, I'm glad they're a thing now. Oh.
no further purpose because the end that awaits them would be non-existent. The horror of the kin civilization is that the entire purpose of their lives is to do the best they can at their duty and upload all they know to the Votann, their ancestor cores, join their ancestors. But doing so is actually the thing that is killing these supercomputers in the first place. The ancestors were dead, but through the first truths, their legacy continued. And though their eyes had shut long ago, indeed the ancestors were watching, not with a gaze from eons gone, but with the eyes of every living kin. Each generation was the embodiment of the ancestors cast anew by the Votann. The galaxy changed, stars died, planets were destroyed, and civilizations fell. But as long as the Votann endured, the ancestors still lived.
The Votann
I
are
do want to
strong.
end this last bit with an enjoyable
Willpower.
quote from one Kim. As you may have assumed, the Leagues of Votann are space dwarves with a corporate sci-fi motif, but they are still very much dwarves. They're squat, they're strong as hell, and they hold serious grudges. This time it's just more about your contracts than anything else. And so because of this, they might treat most things about how you would expect a capitalistic dwarf would treat things. You misunderstand, human. I am not here to debate. I am not here to compromise. What you see as yours, I am taking for my kindred. You want to bargain? Torek, unholster our means of negotiation. As the Great Crusade continued, humanity would find their missing Primarchs, reestablish the locations of all of their various worlds, and finally reclaim what the Emperor was always hoping for. But eventually, all the Emperor sought to build would be his undoing. His original attempt to have all of the Primarchs lead his great armies and usher humanity into the better ages would end up crumbling down. And we will learn about how the Imperium backslides and the horror of the modern day of 40K in part 2. I will see you very soon. Thank you so much for watching.
That was so good. Damn, wait. So what factions are gonna be in part 2, since I'm bad at keeping track? Yeah. What was not in here? A greatness. Oh, the Chaos Marines and Sisters. Oh yeah. Yeah, true. He like No, like we saw some images, but like he didn't go into it. Okay, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, and the custodies. Yeah, the custodies and sisters. Chaos Space Marines, Chaos Knights, Sisters of Battle, Grey Knights, and custodies. Yeah. Oh, right. The Tau Orcs and Tyranids. Oh, yeah. He didn't mention them here. You're right. Yeah. They got like small mentions, but he didn't go into it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Kind of weird custodies weren't here. Well, doesn't it make sense because they kind of like come in after the emperor is like, I guess, becomes like, oh, I don't want to be a heretic, but like, you know, he kind of becomes a vegetable. Isn't that when they come in? Yeah. No? Oh, okay. Never mind. I thought they were like protecting him or something. Custodies did take 10,000 year break. Numbers. Oh, there is bodyguards from before? Okay. Not a veg. He's resting. Oh, okay. I see. Okay. I reckon them not being active and forever would place him later in the timeline. Okay, yeah. So much lore. Holy shit. I like how he formatted this one, though. It was a lot easier to follow just because, like, it was sort of chronological, I think. Yeah. So it helped explain the timeline lore a bit as well. Yeah, I think he's putting custodies in part 2 because they take a more active role in the story during the heresy onward. Gotcha. I like the space dwarves. The leagues of Votann. Do they have a good amount of kits? I think like I was looking at some before the stream and I found a pretty neat looking one. You find it. I like how it's just little men driving like huge tractor. Like look at I love it. I love the aesthetic so much. I thought this was pretty neat. And then they also had like another variation of like, you know, like a tractor looking thing. Oh. Yeah. Looks nice, right? I think I like the first one more. I just like the shape of it. Oh wait, are they the same one maybe? Wait, no, I think they're different. Let me look again. Not sure if it was an angle thing. Oh, I don't know. They might be the same one actually. Just from a different angle. Yeah, they have like dune buggy vehicle aesthetics. I love it. I love the aesthetics so much. Oh, they're different? Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I was like, wait, is it like the angle of the box or something? Okay. One is big, one is small. Oh, is this one the smaller one or the bigger one? The one I'm looking at? It's more moonpunk. Like nowadays NASA. Oh, moonpunk. Is that the term we could apply to them? Land Fortress is the big one. Oh, okay. This one's large. Oh, so it's probably more expensive. Oh. Yeah, do these come with the little guys in them? I think they do, right? Trying to zoom in a bit. I think there's a guy in there. Maybe 2? I think. They currently have the smallest amount of units for tabletop because they're so dang new. I guess that makes sense, yeah. I heard they have like some old kits as well, like when they're called squats, I think, and I think I've seen those and they look kind of cute. It's like $100 or more, I think. Oh, sheesh. Yeah, I'm like, man, I really like these guys. I might want to build one of their kits. I gotta pick out a kit. 93 euros in the EU online store for one land fortress. Pretty expensive, though not exactly high end. Yeah, I approve of these short kings. Yes. I like him. Oh. 40k kits can get really expensive. Well, I think I was aware of that. Yeah. Oh. They should hopefully get new stuff to go along with the Codex release later in this year. Oh, it's later this year? Alright. If you want them, keep an eye out around Christmas. They should be getting their book and discount box later this year or early next. Okay. Yeah. As a first model for a sub-goal, I'd recommend something like a Dreadnought. Let me look up Dreadnought. Dreadnought. 40k. Dreadnought 40k. Oh, yeah. Yeah, these guys, yeah. We did see them. Yeah, I like the mecha looking stuff too. Yeah. I don't know, currently trying to decide, but I will look around. I think Space Marines also seem like a good beginner. Yeah, here's the Dreadnoughts. Yeah. Yeah. Smaller, cheaper, and more iconic. Yeah, I'll look into it a bit. Yeah, the Battle Life Support Walker. The wheelchair mech. It's like, let me die. No, you will pilot the mech. You're not dead yet. You gotta pilot the mech. Get in the mech. Get in the robot. Oh, yeah, it's a walking coffin. Oh, it's so dreadful. Oh yeah, there's also the Dwarves in Warhammer Fantasy. Yeah. Maybe I'll go take a look at that as well. I am interested. I am very interested in the fantasy dwarves too. I just like dwarves. I like them. Alright, thank you guys. This was super fun. Oh, thank you. Oh, thanks for watching this very long video with me. But I really enjoyed this one. I think I did like the format better than the first one as well. So I'm excited for part 2. Yeah. Thank you, Bricky, for the video. Oh. Yeah, Pachi. Dude, he cooked. For sure. My guy cooked.
Far past.
It was great fun. Yeah, thanks for joining. And then next week, I think I'll see if I could watch videos on the kits, because I was going to do that this week, but then this video got uploaded. So I was like, okay, let's watch this one. But I do want to watch some kit videos since, I also want to build my first kit soon. So I want to kind of see what people usually do with those. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you on YouTube. Thank you on Twitch. Thank you for all the support today. Yes, eventually I will build that. I'll build that kit. I'll build that model. I'm just going to look for what I want to build first and maybe watch some videos for inspiration, because that is also important. Yeah, and tomorrow I'll be playing Majikoi for Visual Novel Sundays. Maji de watashi ni koi o shinasai. So feel free to drop by for that. Thank you. All right, let's see who is live right now. Oh yeah, I do want to play the games as well, not just the tabletop, like Space Marines. Not Mojika SMH. Unfortunately, Mojika is too based for stream, is what I concluded. We got the opposite of Mojika. We got Majikoi. What people may have mistaken Mojika for. Thank you for all the follows. Thank you. Yeah, if you'd like to see more content, be sure to hit that subscribe button or follow on Twitch. Subscribe on YouTube, follow on Twitch. Yeah. Thank you, guys. I am still getting into Warhammer, but usually I like to do stuff like, I'm really into Gunpla as well. So yeah, I build Gunpla, play the violin, and I play visual novels. Those are my passions. But yeah, I've been really blown away by the overwhelming support from the Warhammer fans, so thank you guys. Anyone from Glitch Stars live right now? I think I don't know if it ended. I know Miwa was doing a tournament today. I am not sure. Check Twitch real quick. She was doing like a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament, I believe. Oh, yep, she is doing it. The Failed Archetypes tournament. Oh my god, actually so many people from Glitch Stars live. Is Miwa doing Twitch only today? Let me just check that as well. Miwa Bell. Yeah, I think she's Twitch only today. Miwa also watches a lot of Warhammer stuff, guys. She's been also getting into it. So be sure to check her out if you haven't already. She got that personal shout out from Bricky, or like Bricky approval. Alright, we can rate Miwa, Miss Miwa on Twitch. And on YouTube, where my YouTube tab go? On YouTube, we can go say hi to Miss Matara. I think she's doing, what is she doing right now? Let me see. She's something about cannibalizing her ex-husband. I don't know. Matara's being Matara. She's having fun. Alright, yeah, we're waiting Miss Matara on YouTube. And we will bell on Twitch. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Catch you next stream. And thank you, Bricky, for the video. Emuri da yon. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Have a good rest of your weekend. Catch you next time. Emuri. Bye-bye. See ya. Bye-bye. Mata ni.